It's only me. Stand by. It's only the Kimmer. Look outstanding with you Monday. Oh, we got too much. May have to go a little long today. With Pete Davis, sidekick producer, and sports raconteur extraordinaire. And let's not forget the mechanical mangler, Flounder at the controls. And we may have some attractive company for Flounder today in the booth today. Is that possible? Is that true? Is that not going to happen?
We shall see.
We shall see. It's possible, and we shall make the announcement when appropriate. I'm bad to the bone.
Maybe she doesn't want it to be an announcement.
Maybe she has no idea.
Doesn't want to be made a big deal about this.
Well, that's too bad for her. I've got the name on the thing there. Anyway, she'll be fine. She loves doing it. In fact, if I invited her to come in twice or three times a week for half an hour, I'll bet she'd love it. And God knows we would. So there you are. Anyway, we'll get to it. 304. How you doing? Here we go. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. But da, 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 da. I love this. All right, it's 304. Here's the phone number if you want to call. It's 404-741-1230. 741-1230. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, right up till 6 o'clock. A lot of you'll hear some sound of the guy with the biggest stones in the world. A hung jury saved him from bribery charges a couple of years ago, and he kept going and got caught again. Only this time, he said, "Oh, that was my money. That's mine because I was Cuban, and we're afraid we get government and everything." So, sorry. Anyway, that's Menendez. We'll talk about that also. You'll hear President Stupid Face once again embarrassing himself and our country. And we got a whole bunch of political things, including Pete just saw the story. I don't know why I didn't hear about this until just 4 minutes ago. Donald Trump's in the news. A couple of things. One, by the way, Pete, let me ask you this, and Flounder too. If you're now, he may be in the back there, so may not get to a mic. Let me ask you this: when is the last time you used the word outlier in a sentence?
Maybe never.
Okay. Flounder, how many times a week do you use the word outlier in a sentence?
Never.
Okay. Do you know what it means? I mean, I guarantee you 75% of the people right now just walking down the street, if you look out your window and you see all those people you see, 70% of them have no freaking idea what the word outlier means. I'll bet you. Or at least 50%. I mean, I guarantee you. In fact, kids, if you're a kid listening, maybe riding your bike with a transistor radio, listen to the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Well, it could have happened. It could have happened 50 years ago. No, sorry. Anyway, go home and ask your parents tonight if they know what an outlier is. I mean, it's unbelievable. Well, Donald Trump, he creamed him in a poll, but it's an outlier. The poll is really an outlier.
Well, they're an out-and-out liar if they say that.
I mean, it's unbelievable. It's like remember gravitas?
Yeah. At the end of the day.
Oh, God, don't even start me.
At the end of the day, we give 120%.
And Hillary brought up pea stinky fart cabbage is at it again. I mean, again, she was responsible with Jake Sullivan for the fake Russian coup against Donald Trump.
Yeah.
They started it.
Got away with it.
She literally started the coup attempt and got away with it. Mm-hmm. And they're anyway, I mean, Newsweek magazine, get rid of President Stupid Face. I mean, actually said you're going to lose, get rid of him, he's got to go. Newsweek. I mean, people, and by the way, maybe Robert Kennedy Jr.'s in the race. I mean, he's already, and then that chick, although they don't count him. I hear commentators saying, well, as soon as the first Democrat announces he's going to challenge, but you've got, it's not the.
Oh, they're making a big deal about some guy no one's ever heard of challenging him.
Right.
Okay, this guy, no one's heard of you, dude, but they've managed to make Kennedy an outlier now.
Right, yeah. So he doesn't, I mean, it's just unbelievable. Anyway, also, and a quick preview of the Donald Trump story, which we just saw on the internet.
He bought a gun over the weekend.
Now, how is that possible that I didn't hear about? I didn't hear that story. I would think that reporters would do anything to try to show that Donald Trump went to get a gun because he wants to take over the government again. I can't believe it.
And where did I get that story?
From Daily Mail, I'll bet you.
Of London.
Oh, my God. See, how many stories? Well, I mean, every day. Well, I'll tell you. I'll give you a brief rundown of what we're doing today. Flounder and I and Pete are always looking. If you're in the news business or the radio business, you have notepads in your car and but you think of things, you write it down. If you hear something, you write it down. So we're always doing that all day and all night, stuff like that. But generally, I go through all the Fox News stuff. I go through the paper. I listen to the news. All these sources. I write down notes. I take things I want to have Flounder make copies of and bring into the stuff. And Pete specializes basically in the Daily Mail. And the fact of the matter is, and Twitter. I never go on Twitter other than to see what.
I mean, you more or less get your stories from Twitter. I mean, what I'm saying is people post links and things like that, and it's just a source to get.
Right. And again, the Daily Mail is on top of the stuff more than most American reporters.
If it has to do with American politics,
they're on it.
You will not get the truth in the American media.
It's unbelievable. I mean, seriously. Anyway, more politics as we kind of just teasing what we're doing here. Kathy Hochul, the New York governor, has now called out the National Guard to fix bayonets and start shooting all those illegal immigrant protesters who sneaked across the border to do harm to America. I think she's shoot to kill orders, I think, in the New York governor, if I'm not mistaken. Also, the other big story, Taylor Swift. Holy smokes. And Travis Kelce. And now you knew this was going to happen. As soon as big people are built up in the public eye, someone's got to find out a way to try to bring them down. So now Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are a huge item, but all of a sudden now there's got nothing in your brain. That's what people
it
say.
took over NFL Sunday yesterday.
It's taken over the world. I mean, we could do one story after another on the related information about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, and they were seen arm in arm, and the guy got a picture, and they were in a convertible. I mean, it's unbelievable.
They rented out a restaurant. I don't care. I mean, most football fans don't care.
But you know what? It's.
But they shove it down your throat.
It's unbelievable. And by the way, you heard it here first. They're not going to be a couple.
No.
They're never going to get married.
No.
They're not going to have children.
No.
They're not going to stay together. She's not going to get knocked up. She's probably tied him. Probably tied the tubes. I don't know that. I don't know if she's 30. I don't know if or 33. She's 33. Taylor's.
Is she 33?
I remember the first time when I was listening to music or something, and I was talking to my daughter Jennifer, and I was saying, I think it was the song "Teardrops on My Guitar" or the Drew song, one of them. And I was talking to my daughter Jennifer. I said, "Oh God, I love that Taylor Swift. She's so hot." And she said, "Dad, she's 16," and that's how long she's been around. I think she was actually 15 when she started making the hits. And again, I mean, she's a remarkable woman. She does all the stuff, her production, the choreography, she does all of it. She's the boss of everything. And she's also a freaking Marxist. She hates Donald Trump. She hates conservatives. She hates so-called MAGA Republicans. She thinks we're all a bunch of white supremacists out to ruin her so-called democracy. So, I mean, I hate everything she stands for. And she, as a 6-footer with feet like snowshoes, fine, can be all as pretty as you want to be, but you're not going to have a relationship with Travis Kelce. So all this is just some kind of is this all just media distraction from all the hate and division and all the stuff going on? I don't know, but it's huge.
The average football fan takes a look at, if they don't like her music, she's got a pretty face, but she looks like a 12-year-old boy, the rest of her body that plays basketball.
Scarecrow.
And they don't care unless they're talking about their team.
Yeah, I know. But
why do they shove it down our throats all day yesterday?
Taylor, my daughter and my granddaughter dressed up like Taylor Swift and went to the concert.
They're not NFL football fans.
I know, but they're also not Taylor Swifties until they are. I mean, I'm telling you, it's a thing. But you're right. I mean, we all agree. This is the most ridiculous. I mean, and it'll eventually blow over, and something's going to. But now it's the thing. Now the next thing is, are they going to be seen together on a date, and then are they not going to be seen, and she'll be with somebody else? I mean, it's going to be unbelievable.
I'm more concerned that he's doing ads for Bud Light and the COVID 1500th booster.
Well, that was the point about when you build somebody up. And this is now the new celebrity couple in the world. right now. This is the world celebrity couple.
Well, here.
And as soon as that popped out over the weekend, this morning, all of a sudden, people are saying, well, he's in favor of COVID. He did ads for the COVID people and for the Bud Light people. He's a screaming liberal Marxist just like she is. Oh, boy, here we go. So here we go.
I don't think he knows what he's doing. He's just taking the money.
He's taking the
money while he's hot.
He's a football player taking money for commercials.
Yeah, he don't know anything.
But you can't blame him. They say, hey, you want to do a commercial? He says, well, they say that is the COVID try to save you? Sure. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Give me $1 million and I'll talk about the shots.
He doesn't even go that far. His agent says, they want to give you $15 million. Where do I sign?
Yeah, so let's not be too critical of Travis Kelce, the football player, getting endorsements from commercials. I mean,
although you are putting your name and reputation on this.
You're taking the money. And your name's on it, so you can't duck it. Now, if he tries to duck it or something, that's a whole other issue.
Well, he needs to come on and answer the question. Does he think it's okay to promote transgenderism to young people?
That's the next issue that someone's going to confront him on, and we'll see whether he's going to address it. And that's the big news angle now, is the reaction to what is now broken because of their celebrity.
And how about the clot shot that doesn't work?
Yeah, here we go again, by the way. Anyway, 3:14, holy moly, it's a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, and it's Monday, and let it rip, baby. Here we go. Ding, 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 ding. Look out. Here we go. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. With Tom Petty. Kind of a long intro here.
A great long intro.
And boom. Tom Petty on this day, 2017. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers appeared at the Hollywood Bowl. The concert ultimately be the Heartbreakers' final show. On this day in 2017, ended with a performance of American Girl. Tom Petty died of an accidental drug overdose a week later. October 2, 2017. It's been that long? My God, like that's 6 years?
Was it fentanyl that got him? Or
I'm not sure, but his last tour, he had a broken hip and he didn't even realize it. So he was on all kinds of painkillers and stuff like that to get through the tour.
Wow, 6 years. Let's play Little American Girl here, Flounder. What the heck? Dun, 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 dun. There you go.
All right, that's enough of that. Want to do your show now?
What time? I'll do the show. I'm sorry. Well, if it had been...
We're waiting.
If he'd have been playing Don't Back Down, I'd have played the whole song. Anyway, our birthday list, Kimber, Pete, and Flounder. How you doing? 318 here at the 106.3, whatever you call it. Catherine Zeta Jones is 54, and her husband's birthday is also today. Michael Douglas is 79. 25-year difference. So, and they're still together.
Yeah, they're still. So, it doesn't matter. It's
God
no one's
bless
business.
them. Oh, believe me, I'm happy for them. If they're together and they're actually, maybe she does love him. Outstanding. Maybe she didn't just need the money. Oh, sorry.
Well, she didn't need the money.
Well, no, she didn't need the money.
She was.
Now, see, that was my
a hot actress at the time.
See, if I had only. Well, what else we got here? No, I just keep going. In 1888.
Jesus, 1888.
Things not to say.
What happened in 1888?
1888, Jack the Ripper mailed his first letter to London Central News Agency promising to cut the ear off the next woman he murdered, and sure enough, they got an earless body 5 days later. An author figured out the real identity of Jack the Ripper in 2014 using a DNA test. They claim it was a 23-year-old Polish immigrant.
Yeah,
they
claim that a lot.
Yeah, I think they're all.
They don't know who it was.
I don't know anything.
I still think it's cool that you can take that tour and they'll take you right to where they found the body.
They found the body, yeah.
On the street.
You went there, didn't you go there?
Yeah. In the pub that he drank in. Oh, it's just...
That's kind of creepy. Did he give you the creeps?
Oh, yeah, but we were drunk, so we
didn't care. Anyway, how's it going? By the way, if you want to call, we love phone calls. 404-741-1230, 741-1230. It's good to have you aboard. Let's see. Should we get in some newsy stuff? We got a whole bunch of...
Oh, before you do that?
Yeah.
We'll talk about Travis Kelce and the COVID shot?
Yeah.
Did you hear what the Mayo Clinic quietly did over the weekend?
No.
They updated their website to say that hydroxychloroquine can be used to treat COVID.
Oh, I'm afraid you're going to have to be impeached now. Oh, we're going to have to impeach all you people at the Mayo Clinic. I'm sorry. Oh, wait a minute.
But Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel told us it was horse dewormer.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because Donald Trump should be in prison for trying to murder people.
Yeah, and doctors got fired and taken off social media for saying this.
I'll be damned.
Where's their apology?
Yeah, anybody's apology.
Where's Stephen Colbert and them come out and say, okay, we were wrong. We led millions of you to the wrong path. Yeah. We were wrong about this.
Yeah. And how many families like mine do you suppose had an issue with shots and quarantine and don't infect the baby and, I'll do this for you, but I really don't want to. And so all of a sudden you've got a moral stand, but you don't want to take it because you don't want to. I mean, this is not and aside from the things like quarantining and everything else, how many lives did all this cost? And has anybody in responsibility said anything other than, we was following the science.
We did the right thing.
Yeah, we followed the right science.
Don't question the science.
Did you hear the soundbite of Fauci? The guys before us here on the radio, about 2:30, just Clay and Buck. Travis and Clay Travis and Buck. And they had the soundbite of Fauci, I guess, from the over the weekend or something. And he said, talk about being a target. These people hate me. I'm a target. He said, the problem is when you represent the forefront of something, that's new and stuff like that. He said, forgetting the fact that I've been involved over the years of my career with literally saving millions of lives, and that doesn't seem to count. He literally said that he's been responsible for saving millions of lives, and he still gets ripped for the COVID thing.
How many audio?
What? Oh, here, have it?
You should be attacked. Well, it's a complicated issue, but I have become, by people who know nothing about me, who don't investigate what I've said I've been done, I've become the symbol of what the far-right extremists feel that I'm the one who had to, in an uncomfortable way, I wasn't pleased with that. I wasn't happy to do it, that I had to publicly disagree with the President of the United States. That was very painful for me because I have a great deal of respect for the presidency of the United States. But I felt in order to just maintain my own personal and professional integrity and my responsibility to the American public, I had to say it like it was, and I had to do it publicly. That triggered a degree of negativity towards me on the part of the far right, that all of a sudden, when you have anger, in some cases maybe justifiable anger of one ideological group against the other, you need a symbol like somebody has got to be the object of the anger.
But it's not just crazy. I mean, that's a man who wants to...
But what I'm saying, I'm going to get to that. Okay. What happens is that if you become...
guys, fine. Thank you.
How many people died during the AIDS crisis when he bungled that?
Yeah, and remember that the president of the World Health Organization was an African leader, I believe, who also was responsible for the millions of people dying from God, which disease was it? But not, I'm going to say what the hell was the disease? I want to say Ebola crisis. Yeah, sorry about that. And he was responsible for the whole. All right, now check this out. I've had this in my phone for a month or so. From a girl named Lisa. And she says, never forget what they did to us. Don't ever let it happen again. Hashtag do not comply. They closed your businesses. They closed your schools. They closed your churches. They closed your beaches. They burned and banned parties. They banned funerals. They banned graduation ceremonies. They banned nursing home visitors. They banned hospital visits. They banned dads in the delivery room. They banned travel to certain states. They even designated what constitutes a meal. They allowed protests. They allowed riots. They allowed anarchists to co-opt cities. They allowed the storming of police precincts. They allowed the assault of peacekeepers. They allowed multiple funerals for people that fit their agenda. They allowed businesses to be destroyed. They allowed gun stores to be closed. They allowed statues to be vandalized. They allowed churches to be set on fire. They allowed the infringement of our liberty. They allowed our Constitution to be ignored. That's what they did in the COVID China kill virus disaster pandemic under the leadership of the Democrats.
Fauci did that.
It's just unbelievable. All those things are true. You know, and the governor of California had a guy arrested for being on a surfboard out in the ocean.
Put sand in skate parks so they couldn't ride their skateboards.
So they couldn't go outside and get
took down
air.
the basketball nets at parks.
This is the same meeting when the shutdown happened, justified George Floyd protests, saying there were no super spreaders. 2 weeks later, Trump had his rallies, and what did they do? Same media outlet said that it was a super spreader.
That's right. I mean, the hypocrisy. And again, not one of them has taken responsibility to say, man, did we blow that? I mean, we tried. We really did our best. Even if they said, you know what, we didn't know. This never happened before. We didn't know what to do. We did the best we could. We thought we were doing the right thing. We were nervous about trying to get people to take, alternatives like this, the medicine we thought was horse tranquilizer. We didn't know, And boy, do we really blow it. I wish we had done it better. I would accept that, even saying, at least you're honest about it, unless you're among the people who deliberately deceived America for your own purposes, like the pharmaceutical scandals.
Or the late night talk shows. How can you sleep with yourself, Colbert and Kimmel? Right. How many people died because they go, well, I'm not going to take that. That's a horse dewormer.
Yeah. Not one. Nobody's.
How can you sleep with yourself? How can you go to sleep at night thinking that you told people not to take something that could save their lives because Big Pharma didn't want it on the market?
Yeah, I know.
And the same people that 10 years ago that were telling me that Monsanto was horrible and that Pfizer was horrible and all the Moderna were horrible, now get down on their knees and worship every single thing they say and do.
I know.
Same people.
Yeah. And again, we just got the word now that hydroxychloroquine is now, according to the Mayo Clinic, is very
which is so
valuable.
simple to get. You could get it by eating Hydrox cookies.
Well, no, I'm not quite sure that that's on the actual list of acceptable alternatives to the medicine itself.
I heard on the late night talk show.
It could have been. It's possible. Who am I to say? Maybe not. I'm
an Oreo man myself, but
Well, now see, we're all different.
The question is do you take the top off and just?
Oh, you have to dump it. No,
I dunk in the milk. I rarely ever twist it off, though. Excuse me?
Hello.
What did I just say?
What day is this? I forgot what.
25th.
No, a special
Monday.
Day. No, a special day in something.
No hit, no wonders.
Oh, no one hit wonder. We're going to play some one hit wonders for you coming up. Also, do we have? You want to do the Menendez bit here? Should we do a quick newsy thing?
Yeah.
A Democratic senator, take the money, Menendez. Actually had the balls to come out and address a news conference today and said, I didn't do anything. They caught $500,000 in his clothes and stuff and gold bars. And he said, that's fine. That's all my cash. Well, anyway, here's Menendez saying I didn't do anything wrong and I'm a wonderful guy. Please vote for me again.
Throughout my 30 years in the House of Representatives and the Senate, I have always worked to hold accountable those countries, including Egypt, for human rights abuses, the repression of its citizenry, civil society, and more. Those who now are attempting to malign my actions as it relates to Egypt simply don't know the facts. Third, for 30 years, I have withdrawn thousands of dollars in cash from my personal savings account, which I have kept for emergencies and because of the history of my family facing confiscation in Cuba.
The Cuban.
This may seem old-fashioned, but these were monies drawn from my personal savings account based on the income that I have lawfully derived over those 30 years. I look forward to addressing other issues at trial.
Yeah, well, he and his wife are accused of accepting hundreds of thousands of bucks, cash, gold, jewelry, cars, trips. Interfered in 3 criminal cases, pressured agriculture regulators to help people in Egypt, the Foreign Relations Committee stuff. Federal agents searched and found another $70,000 in her safety deposit box and about $500,000 in cash and envelopes in his clothes in the closets.
I know a couple places where his money went.
Yeah.
His wife's tatas.
That's right, man. Them babies look expensive. Anyway, coming up at 3:30 with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Here we go. Look out. How's it going? 3:33 with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. And a guy named David Gilmour. His fourth studio album on this day in 2015 was called Rattle That Lock. Went to number one. Number one on the British chart.
Really?
He had been writing the material for Rattle That Lock for 5 years. Although David Gilmour, singing here, pointed out the one piano piece was recorded 18 years ago in his living room.
Does he sing too? I know he played guitar.
Yes.
He was a big guitar guy for Pink Floyd.
So this is him, huh?
I didn't know he sang too. Okay.
Yeah, he did Comfortably Numb. I think he sings on that one.
I've never heard of any of this.
You know, Pink Floyd, Another Brick in the Wall. You know that stuff.
I know that.
Comfortably Numb. You've heard it.
I know that. Will Smith is 55 today. Kind of an idiot.
No, he's a cuckold.
Well, no, he's just just a jerk. I mean, it's really too bad because he's just, he's
stupid.
He just seems vacuous. He just seems kind of, I don't know. Going along. 55, Will Smith. And Heather Locklear. She's half nuts, right? She's 62.
It's hard to look at her right now.
Yeah, didn't she kind of do things to herself and being out of the hospital?
That rock and roll life, man, that'll get you.
She's anyway, sorry, Heather. And historical note. On this day, 2018, 5 years ago, Bill Cosby was sentenced to 3 to 10 years in prison for drugging and raping all those women, like 7,000 of them over the years. He only served 3 years, and then his conviction was overturned. Yeah, I'll be darned.
How'd that happen?
Well, they said they violated his rights somehow. I don't remember how that happened.
They kept him from his money or something?
Yeah, I guess. Apparently he didn't bribe enough people or something.
He did.
So I still don't know how some husband or boyfriend hasn't taken care of that situation.
You mean take him out to dinner or something?
Oh, that's right, to have a good discussion with him. Anyway, 3:35. We're all different. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, how's it going?
Okay, before you do it.
Yeah.
Are they still running that show
on
Oprah's network?
Absolutely.
The whole time the guy's on trial, the whole time he's found guilty of rape.
Yeah.
Oprah kept running his show on the air.
It's still on TV. Yeah, it's on cable. It's on every night. It's on all the time. I see it listed all the time when I'm scrolling through. Yeah, that's fine.
Just amazing to me.
Scum. I mean, that's just as creepy as it gets. That's beyond perversion.
He could have any woman he wanted.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's the possible joy? I mean, that's like drugging a girl till she's unconscious and then having sex with her like she's dead. The dead body syndrome. Necrophiliacs.
Yeah. Someone told me about that.
God. Oh,
you know, if you're trying to get rid of a girlfriend, you do?
Well, you talk about necrophilia, probably.
You know what we should do tonight, honey? I think you should take a nice cold bath.
Yeah, I think it's a real freeze up there.
And then come and,
get some ice packs in bed.
And lay really still.
Yeah, and try to pretend you were asleep. Oh, God. 3:36 now, 3:37.
The bad thing is if she stays after that.
Oh, Lordy. So Donald Trump bought a gun. I wonder how many he owns. Well, maybe we'll find out in this story. Just got it. Donald Trump went gun shopping with Marjorie Taylor Greene. He was at the Palmetto State Armory during a South Carolina stop over the weekend. And he stopped at the Palmetto State Armory and bought a Glock. Donald Trump bought a Glock with his face on it. It's a special Trump edition gun that features the former president's photo on the handle and the words Trump 45 on the chamber, although it's a 9mm. I'm going to buy one. I want to buy one, Trump said after looking. Isn't Glock a great gun? You have to have either a concealed carry permit or an instant background check to get one. Trump had to fill out an ATF form to attest that he is not under felony indictment and not using or addicted to drugs like Hunter Biden did. Federal law prohibits anybody under federal indictment, which applies to Trump, from possession of classified documents and his efforts to overturn from purchasing a gun. But federal judges have ruled that such a rule is not consistent with the Constitution. So Donald Trump posed with one of the salesmen at the Armory in South Carolina as he made the purchase. He posed with a Glock, holding it up for photos. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, a strong ally, posted with a picture on her social media, wrote, President Trump doing a little shopping in South Carolina, protecting our Second Amendment. Gun violence with the president's stupid face, a poll showing da-da-da, Trump didn't expand, background da-da-da. It was at a campaign event at Sportsman's Boats in Somerville near Charleston. That'll be today. He's joining Lindsey Graham and the governor later on today, South Carolina, important primary state. Of course, that's what got Joe Stupidface the election because of that racist liar.
Clyburn.
Oh, my God.
I got an ex-girlfriend in Somerville. Wonder if she went down there.
Well, she might have. I went down on the campaign. See the campaign.
That's where she went down.
I have no knowledge of this girlfriend.
Get your mind out of the
I didn't
gutter.
say anything. I'm just reading the news.
I have a question for you.
All right, answer me a question there, Batman.
You in the past, not recently, in the past, you have been accused of having an ego.
I deny it, but go ahead.
Would you buy a gun that had your face etched into
my face? No, I can't imagine I would buy a gun. Now, if I would buy Trump, if it had his mugshot face picture on it,
That's
I'd probably.
funny.
Well, I'm not going to spend $900. I don't have any money to go buy guns.
That's ridiculous.
Unless I would trade in 7 or 8 of mine. I have it, but because again, and thank God I had that deal with a gun shop where they didn't have any money, but they said you commercials for us, and instead we don't have any money, but we'll give you guns. I said okay.
You got me and Wayne a gun. There.
I got you and I got Wayne an AK-47, 2,000 rounds of ammo, and I also gave Wayne my Thompson submachine gun with the big 50 caliber cylinder like the gangsters, and I also gave him the suitcase, the violin case, a silk line violin case to put the Thompson submachine gun to carry it in like the gangsters, and I gave it to Wayne.
The coolest thing.
Yeah. And I also gave Rob I gave away so many. I got more guns than I gave away because I was getting them and I didn't, wasn't shooting them, didn't have them, so I was getting free guns basically. So I just started giving them away.
The gun dealer of North Georgia.
Well, no, I didn't get any. They were free. I never sold any guns or anything. But anyway,
I remember the first gun I got from Kimmerer.
I got one
at the old news station, and he was like, "Come down to the parking deck for a minute," and did a nice gun transaction down there.
This is for you.
Gun transaction.
Well, I didn't want to do it in the station, so I said, "Come here, I got something for you." And I got a little pistol.
Maybe we should move on.
Yeah, sorry, moving on. Okay, well, we can talk about things. And we haven't even talked about personal stuff. By the way, did you know there's such a thing called Wiki Feet?
What?
You
can go look at people's feet?
I can't. Something's going on in America. This is, and clog. Do you know what clogs are?
Like shoes.
The shoes, right.
Yeah.
Flounder, you know what those are, right? Clogs?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Do you know what Crocs are?
Yes, I used to.
They're clogs, but they're basically clogs, but they're called Crocs, and they're kind of designed a little differently. Yeah. Okay. Coming up, I couldn't believe what's going on with Crocs in America and young people.
Don't we have someone down the hallway who wears Crocs all the time?
There's people down there that wear flip-flops and stuff, but I don't know.
There's one person that wears Crocs.
This guy that wears flip-flops to work. How can you walk around?
I know who it was. It's the morning producer. Morning Joe.
Oh, Morning Joe?
Oh, yeah.
He wears Crocs.
Oh, my God.
And not only does he wear Crocs, they sell little decals to put on Crocs.
They're called jivvies or something.
And
I swear to God, I've got a thing.
Good money on those things.
But you have no idea. I was talking to shall we do this now? We got Trump stuff. We got outlier stuff. We got Joe.
No, do the Crocs. You're on the Crocs.
This is unbelievable. I'm talking to my daughter, Sarah, and my daughter, Jennifer, over the weekend. And I guess it was I was talking to my daughter Jennifer, and I was saying because Brady's birthday's coming up on Wednesday, and so I've got him. I sent him a bunch of stuff.
We're waiting.
Okay. All right. So his birthday's Wednesday, and I talked to Jennifer about what she got him. She said, "Well, a bunch so went together and got him what he really wanted this year for his birthday. He's turning 13. My grandson Brady turning 13. What he really wanted was a pair of Crocs." And she said, God, they're getting so expensive. And, of course, I have to order them because they're all sold out. You can't buy them anywhere. They're all gone. You can't buy them Crocs anywhere. They're all sold out. Everybody's wearing them in school. I said, wait a minute, whoa, are we talking about the shoes called Crocs that I used to think about when girls wear these clogs and the Crocs, they're kind of sexy. I kind of like girls clocking around in them. But I said, boys are wearing. She says, oh, God, everybody in school, they're all wearing it. You can't even buy them anymore. And then she said there's these things called, I think she said Jivets. And they're the doodads.
Yeah.
And you buy little... And now Brady, on his Crocs, she bought him a bunch of basketball and, baseball Jivets to put on the shoes.
You can get ones for the Florida Gators, LSU,
It's
Clemson.
unbelievable.
Holy cow.
And I'm telling you, every kid at least out in Colorado, and they're all sold out. You have to go on the internet to buy them.
U.S. Navy Crocs.
Yeah, exactly. For men.
Yeah.
Boys, and Brady's a jock. I mean, he's a gifted student, but he's also a jock. He's a star travel team pitcher in basketball. I mean, he wins all the trophies. It's unbelievable, and he can't wait to get his Crocs for his birthday.
All right, I don't know if you'll be proud of this or unhappy, but the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, they all have Crocs, but the Marines don't.
Good. Thank God. I'd confiscate them.
You can get the Jimmies that say aim high.
Is it called Jimmy? I thought it was Jiffy.
Jiffy.
Whatever. No, I think it's it's
Jibbets.
called Jibbet. A Jibbet.
Jibbets.
With a B or a V?
Jibbitz.
Listen. It's unbelievable.
Jibbets. And Morning Joe literally walks around with these things on his Crocs.
I'm telling you, and I thought she was. I thought she was teasing me. I said, "No, you're really telling me the truth here." Oh, all the boys wear them. They're all wearing them.
All right, let's see how much
you can't walk in them. If you had to, try to run away or dodge a car, you'd trip and fall.
Okay, a Navy clog, as they're calling it, is $54, 55, and the Jibbets are $7 a piece.
Well, yeah, there you go. So you got 10 or 12 of those. So you got like $150 pair of half shoes.
It's $60.
It's rubber.
Yeah, it's half rubber shoes.
I mean, they got to cost what? Under $5 to make,
and you can't walk in them. There's no heel support.
What is the big deal about them?
It happened.
They look uncomfortable as hell.
Well, maybe it's like bell bottoms of the '70s. I mean, who knows? All of a sudden,
I like
it's
bell
gone.
bottoms.
And again, I'd never heard of this, and I found out yesterday, talking to my daughter. She said, "Oh God, you can't even buy them anymore. You have to order them." Where did this happen? Talking about a surprise. Holy crap. All right, it's 4:15. We got actual news. President's stupid face coming up next year. And the polls. Oh, my goodness. Look out.
What'd they do?
The New York Post reported that Sly Stone, as in Sly and the Family Stone, on this day in 2011, Sly Stone was living in a van
down by the river,
parked in a notoriously rough Los Angeles neighborhood of Crenshaw. Ooh. The 68-year-old, I've
been driven on those roads.
That's the hood, man.
High speed, baby.
That's do not stop
Olympia,
for
Crenshaw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 68-year-old Sly Stone on this day in 2011 was quoted as saying, living in a van parked in a bad neighborhood in L.A., I like my small camper. I just do not want to return to a fixed home. I cannot stand being in one place. I must keep moving.
He's a little
Sly
strange.
Stone. That's got to be freaky.
He was Prince before Prince.
Wow. Was Prince freaky like that?
Yes.
I don't know anything about Prince. Really?
Yeah.
Now, I know he had that Apollonia girl or whatever. It was kind of
that was just a rare thing
there. Anyway, a quick birthday. Let's see. Oh, Michael Madsden, 66 today. He was the Mr. Blonde in Reservoir Dogs. He was also the washed-up assassin Sidewinder in Kill Bill. He's one who got bit in the face with a snake from the girl, JFK's girlfriend, the lover. Looks like a guy, was a mermaid. What's her name? The big, tall, blonde girl wasn't in the plane.
Uma?
No. The other one, the other, Uma was the key assassin in Kill Bill. The other blonde girl, JFK's girlfriend. Who's
JFK?
John F. Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr.
Was in that movie?
Oh, my God.
Thought he was dead.
Who played the freaking mermaid? Who played the mermaid with Tom Hanks?
Who the hell are you talking about?
Oh, my God. Daryl Hannah.
Oh, Daryl Hannah. Oh.
Jeez, you're looking at me like I got seven eyes.
How is she JFK's girlfriend?
She was John Fitzgerald JJ. Yeah, she was John John's girlfriend. And luckily, she broke up with him right before he killed his new girlfriend.
No.
In the plane crash.
Okay, I don't know where you're getting your facts. He was married to the girl. He married her down in St. Simon's or somewhere in Georgia. He was married to her for a few years, Carolyn something.
Well, yeah.
That wasn't a girlfriend,
Bissett,
that was his
Carolyn
wife.
Bissett.
Yeah.
Okay, well, still, it was another girl.
She broke up with him years before.
He was piloting, and he had a bad leg, and he was flying upside down and killed himself and his wife and another girl. Oh, my God, hold on, stand by, breaking news, stand by, anything to stop the camera from talking.
If we didn't have breaking news, I would have created some just to keep you from telling that story.
Oh, jeez.
Jack Posobiec says, and I don't know if he's joking about this or not, that President Trump has announced he has lost his new Glock.
Oh, you got
in a shock boating accident on the way to his rally, and therefore cannot be charged over it.
Well, God bless America. Today we're going to impeach him again. Oh, mercy. Anyway, now what were we doing? I don't even know.
You're going to do
I got news. All right.
Trump, right? Then we just do Trump?
The Trump thing. This is really, again, not particularly astounding to me, and I think it's really a lot worse than what they're saying. There's a new poll out, Washington Post and ABC, so you know that neither one of them are going to be big fans of Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. Well, the Post and ABC released the poll finding that if the presidential election were held today, Donald Trump would beat President Stupid Face by 10 points. That's huge. That's huge. Quote, the sizable margin of Trump's lead in the survey is significantly at odds with the other public poll. See, here's how they use the word that most people don't even have it never used ever in a sentence before. The margin shows a general election contest, a virtual dead heat in other polls. The difference between this poll and others, as well as the unusual makeup of Trump's and Biden's coalitions in the survey, suggests it is probably an outlier. An outlier. In other words, we did a poll, but it's crap, so don't believe it because we really don't want him to be in lead, so we don't want to get people thinking that Biden can't win. See, here's the danger. They came out with a poll saying, oh, crap. We did the poll, and now we got to come out with it. But so the best way to handle this is to say, well, it's meaningless because all the other polls say this one's wrong. How would you like to make your bones by coming out with a poll and saying, by the way, disregard this, it's a piece of crap? They're saying, in other words, they're saying, well, this is just one of a kind. This doesn't mean anything. It's not like the others. Then, I mean, this is unbelievable. They'll do anything. They're even condemning themselves so that you don't start thinking that Trump's going to win. Here's the danger. The more if every poll from now on came out and said, Donald Trump will win the election 67-24, or Donald Trump wins by 59-37. If every poll showed that Donald Trump was going to win the election, Donald Trump would win the election. just on general principle. Because people who said, oh, crap, I'm not even going to bother voting. I mean, this happens all the time. It's like when they call the election before California votes. And something. It used to be years and years and years ago where they say, oh, well, hell, if he's going to win, why go to the polls? 3-hour difference. I mean, this is unbelievable. The more they come out with information to show that it's really too close and Biden still got it, man, And then the danger is, of course, when they say 80% of Americans know he's too freaking old and he's incompetent, but when they'll do anything to try to have the momentum going in favor of Donald Trump.
How hard is it to set a law that every state has to count every single vote before they can announce what the winner is? We can no more leaks, no more so-and-so's ahead by 50,000 or 40,000, something like that. And then you have State Farm Arena. We got a leak down here. We're going to have to close everything down. You don't have any of that stuff because no one will know until the end. When everything's counted, here's the result. The media doesn't know. Nobody knows until every vote is counted.
And again, one of my pet peeves, and I'll say it again, my pet peeves is if you coming out of if you have voted and you're coming out of the election area and there's somebody doing a post-vote survey, the exit poll survey, always lie. Always lie. Who'd you vote for? Oh, I wrote in my own name. Oh, okay. Always lie. Because then the TV announcers have to go on air with the results they have from the exit polls and look like idiots when they get it wrong. I mean, again, here's the point. At 7 o'clock, it's over. There's a winner. You just haven't counted the votes yet, but it's over. So you can't say, well, boy, Trump was at 8:30. Trump is gaining. Trump is gaining it. No, he's not gaining. It's over. There's no gaining. You're only gaining in the number of votes you've counted. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you race out first. It doesn't matter if you talk about, oh, there's a problem with us own. Just count the votes and then there's your result. But they can't do it.
Why do we make it so hard? This isn't that hard.
It is, yeah,
Go back to the paper ballots too.
That's right. And again, I'm telling you, because what the Democrats are doing, I say do what Michigan, the governor of Michigan, what's her name, the Democrat liberal, has just now ordered that you are in Michigan, you are now going to be getting ballots by mail and early voting. So they're going to swamp everybody with a ballot. Gee, what could go wrong with that? That's how Democrats win. They swamp the place with ballots early. Hell, that's how Fetterman got elected, Senator Thing in Pennsylvania, because they knew it. They said, oh, God, vote now, vote now. It'll be 8-month early voting before he goes to the freaking hospital.
They got the video of the woman sitting in there filling out ballots on video.
Yeah, that's right. And they do it for nursing homes and old folks' homes and your grandmother and everything else. That's why mail ballots, where anybody can fill them out and anybody can mail them in. It's unbelievable. And collect them all and take them all. Take about 400 in there.
It's kind of like all-star voting in baseball. You swap the vote for your favorite player, and you vote 100 times.
Yeah. 357. Let's do President Stupid's soundbite here, Flounder, if you will. A Congressional Black Caucus over the weekend. LL Cool J and MC Lyte receiving Phoenix Awards for musical contributions to the annual ceremony of D.C. And President Stupid gets to the microphone and proceeds to do this.
And two of the great artists of our time representing the groundbreaking legacy of hip-hop in America, LL Cool J. By the way, that man's got biceps bigger than my thighs. I think he's spent.
That boy.
And MC Lyte, both of you, thank you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that boy. Oh my God.
Can you imagine all the Democratic handlers? When he said that?
I mean, you don't say boy when referring to a well-grown man, especially a black man, because it harkens back to the days of slavery, and there's a lot of connotation according to everybody. And if you're a normal person, you have a little bit of sensitivity chip. Clearly, this president does not have. You don't say stuff like that. What's wrong with this man? Oh, my God, make it stop, please. He's making a mockery of the country. Ignorant, racist Democrat declaring the white supremacy is built into this man. Old habits die hard, eh? Boy, not a joke, one said. Joey loves the word boy. Wonder where he picked that up.
He said LLJ Cool J. And then he's called him a boy.
And then he called him a boy. Holy cow. His approval rating is 37%. President Stupid Face. And Donald Trump would have beat him by 10 if the election were held today. And again, there's more. One of the things I did look up on Twitter was, now I got to get my phone. Hold on. Give me 7 seconds here, and I'll be fine. And, oopsie, no, that's not it. Hold on. Oh, crap. I hate this. Here it is. I got it. For example, if a random Republican made this remark about some black Democrat, this would be a national outrage, yet crickets from the regime mainstream media calling him a boy. Good grief. 3 fights at 4 o'clock with a Kimmer Pete flounder. I got close there, my boy.
When I drop these lyrics that'll make you call the cops, don't you dare stare. You better move.
Oh, that's us.
Yeah, you're on.
Oh, sorry. No, right here. I'm right here. Thank you. Cue me. Foo Fighters. Like I would know that. It's a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. How's it going? 403. There we go. I'll play a little Foo Fight. Here we go. Yeah. All right. I like this kind. This is kind of modern rock and roll. 2007, it was Foo Fighters here. This is kind of your normal modern rock and roll stuff.
16 years ago.
Yeah. Well, but again, that's what 2007. Foo Fighters released their 6th album, Echoes, Silence, Patience, and Grace. The album was nominated for 5 Grammy Awards, winning Best Rock Album, and was also awarded the Brit Award for Best International Album. By the way, have you ever met a girl named Patience?
No.
Flounder, you ever met a girl named Patience?
No.
Now, let me ask you this. Have you ever heard of the old singing group Patience and Prudence?
No.
Have you ever heard of Patience? Okay. Well, this is kind of silly. There's a young girl. She looks about 14, and she's not that, but she's a cashier at one of the Publixes I go to all the time up near the stable, and her name is Patience. And I said, and one day I said, she's very. She has kind of like Egyptian makeup on her eyes. She looks like kind of a TikTok influencer, kind of the modern young girl kind of thing. And I said to her, have you ever heard of the old singing group Patience and Prudence? Never heard of them. And I said, ask any adult. And she said, well, I don't know any adults. I said, okay. Anyway, her name is Patience, and it's the first woman. And there was a famous rock group. Look up. Oh God, I can't remember the name of their song.
Why are you making us do this?
I don't know, because it was. I just thought that young girl. Her name was. I've actually met the first girl I've ever met whose name is actually Patience.
Never heard.
And the old singing group Patience and Prudence were I believe two sisters.
Never heard.
Down by that was a very pretty little song. All right, now in history, we'll get right back to the news. I promise to God. Let's see. 2013, several Muppets created by Jim Henson were given spots in the Smithsonian Museum of American History on this day in 2013, joining Kermit the Frog. The new ones include Miss Piggy, Fozzie Bear, and Elmo.
Fozzie Bear.
Waka waka. And so there we got nothing there. Okay, Taylor Swift. Holy cow. Gee willikers. You couldn't be watching any football game or sports stuff over the weekend without knowing about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Jeez, where to start? Well, we'll start at the beginning. They are officially, apparently, spending time together. They're both 33 years old. The Kansas City tight end and the singer, star, and so forth walked together on their way out of the building. She went to the game, the Kansas City game. She was in the suite with the athlete's mother, Donna Kelce. They were shoulder to shoulder, chatting and laughing. Let's see. She had her team spirit showing a red-white Chiefs jacket, later tied around her waist as she was leaving. At one point, she raised her hands in the air in excitement, although, Pete, describe to the little people.
Something happened. I don't know if he scored or what happened, but there's a large African-American man beside her. I don't know who he was. So something happens. Everybody jumps up, and they're jumping up and down, and she turns to this gentleman and starts doing the white person, I don't know what to do here. Do I shake your hand?
High five
with people here?
Slip me some skin, baby.
And they keep doing this thing around, and then they both jump up and bump bellies.
Oh, God.
It's like, it was so white. It was cringy white people stuff. Some high five. He did score a touchdown, a 41-10 victory over the Bears. He had 7 catches, Kelce did, for 69 yards, and he apparently got the girl. So at least now. Can you imagine him hanging out in the offseason at her Connecticut mansion?
No, trust me, this is not going to be a thing. They're never going to be a couple for any part of time. They're not going to get married. They're not going to have children. They're not going to be together. I'm just telling you.
Maybe she's looking for the baby daddy to have a strapping.
Well, real quick, Amanda's here, and she also has a theory about what's going on
Amanda,
now.
well, let's bring in Hey, Amanda. Hey, baby. How you doing?
How are you?
Oh, it's so great to see you. We love seeing Amanda. We just love our Amanda. Now you got a camera in there? What are you doing?
I got a mic.
Excellent. Hey, welcome. Here's Amanda.
Hello.
And you are our public social media director and commandant of our social media. Tell us your theory on Kelce. And now, are you nuts about this whole thing as a young woman? This is probably right up your alley, right?
Oh, yeah.
Taylor Swift.
God. I love Taylor Swift. I love Travis Kelce. And I was believing it last week. Now that all this has happened, I'm not believing it as much. And my theory is that because the NFL needs female viewership. And what does Taylor Swift have? Female viewership. I wasn't watching football yesterday. I heard Taylor Swift was at the game, and I ran out into my living room and turned the Chiefs game on to see her. And I'm sure tons of other girls did the same thing. And now they're going to be following the Chiefs all the way through the season.
Yeah.
Well, you cynical little girl. It's true love.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I hope it's true love, but I don't think it is.
That's not going to work. It's not going to be a thing. Come on.
I don't think so. He's not her type.
Well, I mean,
let me ask you this: she's 33.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean anything nowadays? Is is some kind of pressure on her now to maybe think about a family or something?
Yeah, I think for most girls, yeah, but I think for Taylor Swift, I don't think she cares.
I don't think that's the ball for her. In fact, I almost feel that's a stupid.
Jealous?
How could you feel? No. How could you feel bad for Taylor Swift?
Yeah, you can't.
But the fact of the matter is, I mean, her whole life is entertainment and feedback and social, one world of all, like encompassing everything she does and everything she can't go to the movies, on a date, and she can't go get a hamburger at the
she has
Five
to rent
Guys.
out everything.
I mean, she can't go to the store, she can't go shopping, she can't do anything. She cannot be in any way a normal person, and they have to kind of sneak through the locker room. They can't be showing. I mean, everything you do is under a microscope, and she's 33, and you would. And I'll bet, when her early songs were, that Drew, he looks at everybody else but not me, and he breaks my heart. She wanted to be married and have a family all her life. I'll guarantee you. How is she going to pull that off?
Right. Exactly.
I mean, how could she even meet a guy? Now, okay, so they meet at the football. She's in the thing with the family, with the mother, and then they walk through the thing, and I guess they went off in a convertible, and everybody's all happy and stuff like that. But still, you think they can be a couple? I mean, I mean, she's all over the world doing stuff, and he's a football. I mean, this is nonsense. I mean, I'm happy if they're having fun and just but again. It's a whole thing.
It's hard to buy it too because he has a podcast that's now the #1 sports podcast in the nation, and he is probably going to retire soon. He's also 33, and he's probably trying to get his foot in the media door now too. So I think it's just like a little fishy on both sides, but hopefully they're happy. I don't know if I buy it.
He's got 3 ads now. He's got 3 commercials now.
Yeah.
Well, and again, as soon as this happened, all of a sudden the next day, the words came out. Well, he sponsors the COVID virus vaccine and Bud Light, so he's obviously gay, and he's doing for the gay trannies.
No one's saying that.
Well, no, but again, I mean, you knew it was going. As soon as you're on a pedestal, bam, man, and so now he's going to have to answer for that. And now, I mean, in her political stand, she's a screaming Marxist. I mean, the whole political stuff has going to be the next step, I assume. I don't know. It's just,
she's laid off the politics for several years now. I haven't heard her say anything.
Well,
not like in the election of 2016 where she was talking a lot.
I remember. No, I remember a reaction in the last year or so about Donald. When Trump got indicted again and stuff.
She said something.
But again, I don't think it. Well, I think you're right. It hasn't been as public as it was during the election. But anyway, aren't you so cynical, Amanda?
She's grounded.
They're doing this to get chicks to watch a football game.
Doesn't exist.
Oh, that is so cool. That is so cool. Now, do you have any opinion about her as I'm sure you're younger than she is. She's 33.
Yeah.
But do you have any feeling about her and a family and children? And do you have any kind of feelings about the situation for a 33-year-old superstar who obviously can't just be herself?
Yeah, I don't know. I think she's a different case. I mean, she is 33, which is probably when she's going to start thinking about it, but she's just she's the most famous person in the world, arguably, and I just don't see that, it's probably in her realm, at least right now. I don't think that's where she's at in life, especially she just came off of a 5-year relationship a couple months ago, so I don't think that's something that she's going to jump right into.
Who was she with?
It was Joe Alwyn. He's a British actor.
Dancer?
British actor.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that.
And they were
a British actor. I didn't know it.
And they had a very private relationship, and everyone thought they were going to get married, and they broke up out of nowhere. So I think she's back in her let's have fun phase.
Well, I think she's sowing the wild oats, but sometimes after that, those people get back together.
Yeah, could happen.
Yeah, but I mean, she's so busy, and she's always. I mean, how could you be her boyfriend?
I know.
Unless you just follow her around, and that won't be any good.
I mean, they're both busy, so maybe it works because they never see each other.
I should have thought of that. A lot less time with a wife.
Right.
It might work out after all. God, now you tell me. 413, Amanda joining
us. Thanks for having me.
Kimber P. Flounder and Amanda, you're welcome all day, every day if you want. 413, and we got more coming up here in a second. Don't go away. Hi to 418, Karen, Pete, and Flounder. Pete was just looking up. Tell me what you just found here.
Bruce Willis's wife says he doesn't even know really he's got aphasia and dementia. It's really become, it's kind of sad. It's just amazing.
Looks like he's fading pretty quickly.
I was wondering if his father, if it runs in his family, or if this is something concussion caused or something.
I don't.
Doing his own stunts when he was younger.
I don't know whether they even know at all. I mean, if
it doesn't run in the family.
Well, I think anybody can get it. I mean, I don't know.
Usually things run,
well,
don't come out of nowhere.
I suppose. Anyway, I'm sorry, Flounder, you were playing music here, and we talked right. It was kind of a sad note we saw. Feet saw on the wire.
What's a sad song?
Catalog. All right, so is this Black Sabbath?
Yes.
Okay. And by the way, as we go out of our breaks, Flounder's been playing one-hit wonders, I think, too.
On a couple, yeah.
A couple. And we should probably announce what they are just so they know, because I don't know what some of them are. But anyway, this is Black Sabbath, right?
Correct.
Ozzy and the boys, 23 years ago, Ozzy Osbourne formally requested that Black Sabbath be removed from the nomination list for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Calling the inclusion meaningless to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Ozzy Osbourne went on to say, let's face it, Black Sabbath have never been media darlings. We're a people's band, and that suits us just fine. Well, good for Ozzy.
Whatever.
He doesn't know what he's doing. Let's see. A quick birthday note here. Mark Hamill, Star Wars legend, is 72 today.
And a jerk.
Good. Is he a jerk?
He's a jerk.
Really? I mean, like personally?
Yeah, just a jerk.
I have not heard that.
Great voice actor. Did the Joker for years on the Batman comics. He's a great voice actor.
Yeah. What his personality is? He's just mean to people, or what?
He just if he disagrees with you, it's like Rob Reiner type stuff.
I got you. He knows better than everybody.
Of course, he's an actor. He knows everything.
Well, he was Star Wars.
He didn't even know who his own father was.
He was Luke Skywalker.
He didn't know who his dad was.
Well, he didn't recognize him in that little outfit. I don't know. What do I know?
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, there we go. We got a bunch of things. We're going to play some stuff. Also, well, I don't know.
Okay. You've buried the lead all day. Usually, I come here twice a week.
Right.
And usually you come in after me.
Right.
And the first thing out of your mouth is usually an expletive.
Yeah.
Because you've forgotten something. You've forgotten your handkerchief. You forgot your notes. You forgot this. And it's blah, 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 blah. Today, you actually had a reason to be mad.
I walked in here and I'm getting my stuff organized. I have 2 satchels I carry and I'm emptying stuff and anything. And then I said, oh, where's my phone? My phone's not in my pocket.
Where's my GD phone?
I used a few words other than where's my phone. And so I thought, I must have left. Now, once in a while, if I'm carrying in groceries from the car or something, I'll forget to bring my phone in because my phone is black and my car is black. And so if it's on the seat, if you don't see anyway, whatever. All right, so once in a while, I have to go downstairs to the car and get my phone. So I figured, oh God, I left it. And so I was screaming at Melamac because it's not, I have to go out of our office, I have to go down 4 stories in the wait for the elevator, then walk all the way to the parking garage, go up 4 floors of the parking garage, get my guy back on. I mean, it's a 20-minute thing. And so, and by the way, when I got to my car to go back and look for it, I couldn't find it. And I put the seats up forward, I put the seats back, and it's a 2-seater. I mean, I know it's a 4-seater, but a 2-door. It's a coupe. And so it's not that roomy. I mean, there's only so many places it could be, and it wasn't there. I looked everywhere and you can't. The seat is so tight to the console that you can't even barely stick your fingers in there. That's a hard.
It doesn't help that you have 2 or 3 machetes shoved down there.
Well, I have several weapons available at any given time. So you're going to
suddenly find yourself in the middle of the bush? You got to cut your way out?
I have 2 large. I have a Marine Corps K-bar, and I also have another. In fact, John Boy gave me another big combat knife too, and I have another hidden place of a smaller hand combat knife.
So you get back in here,
anyway,
and the cussing
I couldn't find it. So I come back and I'm freaking screaming. I'm thinking, geez, maybe I left it in my satchel or I couldn't find it. And looked there and I couldn't find it. So it's got to be in the car because I used Waze coming to work to make sure I was,
I asked you,
So and Pete said, so Pete started calling. I mean, Pete jumped right. He said, all right. So he's calling and calling and calling. So he knew it wasn't with me or it wasn't in my little case here. So then both of us, Pete came back with me to go up to the.
Well, it was either that I would sit here and enjoy the show for another hour or so, let you suffer, or walk out to and look for the car with you. And I was calling, and it wasn't picking up.
It wasn't picking
and
up.
That wasn't a good sign.
And the thing is, all going through my head are the same things you're thinking right now, is that all my stuff is on that phone. All my videos and my texting and my saved stuff. Oh my God, I'm going nuts, and I can't find my phone. And I'm thinking somebody stole it. So Pete keeps calling, trying to see.
No. You said everything I had my whole life's on that phone.
Yeah.
And he's doing this outside the Braves Stadium. He's like, and I said, don't worry, it's probably all on the cloud. And you go, what's that mean? I don't even know what that means.
I don't know if it's up in their cloud. I can't tone it in. I mean, where you go get the cloud? What is? I don't know what that means. Everybody says, well, it's in the cloud. Yeah, well, I don't know. What cloud? Where's it on my phone? Say, here, go to the cloud and look at all your stuff.
It should say on there somewhere that
there's nothing on a cloud in my phone. Anyway, so we go back to the car, and now I'm frantic. And then I get to the driver's. Pete's on the passenger side. I'm on the driver's side. I shove the seat all the way up, which I apparently had not done before. And I started feeling around in there, and wedged in the bottom of the seat against the console, against the post area, is my phone. And it was so tightly wedged in there, I couldn't get it out.
Fairies did that.
I mean, you heard me struggling.
I was calling and it wasn't even beeping.
I mean, it was unbelievable. It must have kicked off the sound thing when it slipped somehow. But how it got in, I could not have put it by hand if I wanted it to go in where I found it, and the bottom of the seat wedged against it. I couldn't have done it.
You couldn't have hit it any better than you did.
And and it works. It's not even broken.
You found it though. That made my day that you found that. So I didn't have to hear about it the rest of the day.
Oh God! I mean, and I'm going frantic about. I mean, I've got stuff on there that anyway.
You got to either download it to hard. What do you call that? The hard thing?
I thought it did it automatically.
Hard drive, or put it on your computer, or find out from AT&T, is it automatically going to the cloud?
Yeah. And how do you get the cloud on your computer?
Verizon has a cloud. Apple has a cloud.
I have an Apple phone. I guess I have an Apple phone.
You have an Apple phone. Apple has a cloud. Verizon has a cloud. And you can do it where it automatically puts almost everything, your photos, your videos, your contacts. It'll put it up in the cloud, so you can't lose it. Now, it's like $5 a month, but if it keeps...
still, I don't have a problem with that. Right. I mean, anyway, so
the problem is you got to give him some kind of payment info.
Well, yeah, because I'm not going to get the app. I'm not doing apps anymore. I'm not going. If they go to the app store to get the app to sign up for the phone app,
it's an app.
I'm not doing it. It's an app. Everything is an app. I'm sorry. I'm just not doing it.
Okay, why are you against apps now?
Why did
the app show me on this doll where the app hurt you?
Exactly, because there aren't any. And so finally, I know it's like if they want me to get the new Comcast box, and I say, well, you're going to bring it. So, well, no, you come and pick it up, and I said, oh, can I plug it into the one thing that I have in the one plug? Oh no, it's a whole different setup. But you can download the app and learn how to do it yourself at home. I said, oh yeah, let me get right on that.
I used to wonder back in the turn of the century that when automobiles came along and people refused to use them and just stayed with horses, you'd be one of those people.
I'd rather have a horse. Well, maybe not now. I'd rather have my horse back. Good. Anyway, and it just, I'm having a bad week. I fell. Sophia Loren over the weekend, or not over the weekend, but recently, a couple days ago, Sophia Loren, who is 89 years old, was in the bathroom and fell.
Oh, no.
And she broke her hip in several places.
Oh, no.
And her femur.
Oh.
89. Can you imagine? The rest of whatever.
She's going to be in a wheelchair the rest of her life.
It's going to be awful. I mean, she's in the hospital, but just
that's horrible.
How do you get into rehab at 89? With several broken hip bones. I mean,
she has
cracks.
the money to rehab, but
And by the way, I've been joking about
what's the quality of life left.
Well.
What do you say? Just euthanize her? That's you're saying?
Just put her down.
Say that.
No. I mean, but it's horrible. I mean, with
the Vikings do push him off the rest of her cliff into the fjord.
Send Grandma off on the ice floe in Alaska. See you around. No, and again this weekend I've been telling you about. I'm no longer wearing my cowboy boots every day like I did. I wear them when I go to the stable on the weekends. But other than that, I'm wearing these new stupid girly shoes, whatever they call them. What are they? High tech. What do they call them? High tech shoe? Not high tech. It's the new modern shoe.
You should ask Amanda about the Crocs.
I know. Another good
we
point.
had her in there.
Anyway, and so I have a boot puller in my garage. When I come in home, I get out of my car, and you have a boot puller. So I got in the boot puller, and all of a sudden, because I haven't been wearing my boots very long, I started tipping. And I reached to put my hand on the wall, and I was too far away, and I fell. And I fell on my left
Is there video?
ass
Is there video?
on my wallet in my back pocket. And I thought I'd broken my hip.
You have a Costanza wallet.
Well, in fact, and you want to see the black and blue mark? This is unbelievable.
No, I don't want to see it. No. Sit down. We're on YouTube.
All right. Well, I could show you.
No. We don't want that.
I could show you. Anyway, and it hurt.
Who uses a bolt puller and doesn't have one hand on the wall?
I'm sorry. I'm
30 years younger than you, and I always put my hand on the wall.
And it taught me, you know what I'm going to start doing?
What?
I'm going to start working on balance. I'm going to stand on one leg. How long can you stand on one leg?
Here's what
Pete Davis, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Now, no, seriously, just stand on one leg and
I used to be able to crouch down on one leg like a crane.
And go back up again.
And cross my legs and sit there.
Yeah.
For minutes.
Yeah, well, I used to run 26-mile marathons, too. But
I haven't done that. I'm not going to try it now. That'd be stupid.
Yeah, but I'm going to try working on balance, just working on balance. Because
yoga.
I'm telling you, I mean, I thought, well, God, Sophia Loren just broke everything, falling down, and this is what happens. You lose if you just one little slip, and all of a sudden, and I thank God I did. I mean, the black and blue mark is like a softball, and it hurts like a son of a gun.
Let me give you the first lesson in the New Balance thing. You ready?
Yes.
Wash on.
Wash off.
We'll start simple.
Thank you, Sensei. Oh my God, sorry, I blew the whole segment.
You did, all about you.
I know.
The Kimmer segment.
Well, I was going to talk about my stomach, but I guess I'll be fine.
Okay, this idiot's going, oh, my stomach's hurting.
Well, I was reading an article about why older people, when you get older, your stomach hurts you have stomach aches all the time. I was telling Pete, I have a stomach aches all the time.
And I said, well, you know what, you're taking medicine and stuff. You got to take that with food. So how do you take your medicine? He says, well, I get up in the morning, I drink my coffee, and I take my pills with my coffee.
I take 3 pills and my coffee in the morning, and then a couple hours later, I have something to eat.
You're supposed to water with pills.
Well, yes, food in you and then the pills.
Well, anyway, whatever.
And you're wondering why your stomach lining is gone. Drinking, swilling the coffee and popping the pills.
If you watch your cooking videos, maybe add a few vegetables and some fiber in there.
Fiber? I got your fiber. 4:30 with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Fiber. One-hit wonder. What's the name of this?
This isn't a one-hit wonder.
Oh, it's not hit wonder. Sorry.
Well,
not my bad. That day for you. My Sharona. The Knack. It's one hit wonder day. It's also National Comic Book Day.
Really?
Yeah. Oh. It says here right here, but I didn't know that. My Sharona. What's a Sharona? That's the girl's name.
His girl's name was his girlfriend there in high school, and they later broke up and married other people. And he died several years ago, by the way. But they stayed friends, which is very nice.
Excellent. Birthdays include. Ooh, I was very, very, very fond of this particular model, Cheryl Tiegs.
Yes.
76.
The best Sports Illustrated swimwear cover ever.
Oh, Cheryl Tiegs, 76, supermodel. And the line here from Flounders Guy says, ask Grandpa about her, don't tell Grandma. Anyway,
that was a see-through bathing suit, and we were all on the cover. Yeah. And we just went nuts.
I mean, Christy Brinkley, Cheryl Tiegs. Cheryl Tiegs was even, but Kathy Ireland was my number one.
You know what? We're missing a one-hit wonders. The ultimate one-hit wonder, Bay City Rollers. SATURDA.
That's a great song.
That is the ultimate
Saturday night. We'll do that next time. I got that right. He's got to download it and get rid of the YouTube ads or something. I think if we can even play it, that's probably legitimate to play. There's some we can't play because of copyright. Here we are.
Supposed to be the next Beatles.
Yeah?
Didn't happen.
It's almost like Herman's Hermits or some of those groups.
This was on the soundtrack to So I Married an Axe Murderer. I always think of that movie when I hear this.
Good movie.
Oh, my gosh.
Heed!
Now! Look at that melon.
Here we go. Let's play a little chorus here. Saturday night, Saturday night. Saturday night. Saturday night. Saturday night.
They do sound a little bit like the Beatles.
It's a good group. I wonder now why didn't they make it?
Because they had no other song. They had no other song.
But isn't that amazing? There are so many groups, and you've heard a lot of groups like this that were really good groups, and they just didn't get another hit. Songwriters.
That Tom Hanks movie was a good movie. That Thing You Do was about bands like this, and they break up afterwards. They can't handle it.
If you don't get another song that hits, it's over. And they're just as good as anybody else, or could be. Anyway, a quick historical note: 1957. 300 Army troops with bayonets showed up at the Central High School in Little Rock, Arkansas, to make sure the Democrats don't slaughter the 9 little black students who had to flee 2 days earlier from the Democratic hate mobs who were angry that they were losing their slaves.
My aunt was there. My aunt went there. My dad went to Central High, and my aunt was actually there when it was happening.
Wow, so they were throwing the rocks at the little...
no, my aunt says that they just sat it back and kept their mouths shut.
Yeah, I bet they did. 437. We got newsy stuff. Hillary Rodham P. Stinky Fart Cabbage is at it again. I hate this woman. Honestly, I see her face, and I get angry. She's gotten away with it. This woman was in charge of the Russian collusion coup attempt against Donald Trump. Ever since then as well. And notice when she and her husband and Chelsea made a couple of $100 million by putting their Clinton Crime Family Foundation together, they stopped getting, as soon as she lost, all the donations dried up. How unusual was that? Well, anyway, Hillary Rodham P. Stinky Fart Cabbage was on MSNBC with that disgraceful liar Jen Psaki. And they were talking, of course, about the chances that Donald Trump might be president again. And here's a little of Hillary Rodham P. Stinky Fart Cabbage. Oops, sorry. He was Amanda's still back there.
We're waiting. Vladimir Putin has obviously your friend and mine.
Yes, indeed.
He has intervened in our election in the past.
Right.
It's not something, as you experienced firsthand, it's not something we talk about a lot. Do you fear that is something that could be happening for 2024? And do you think we should be talking about it more?
Well, I think we should be talking about it more because I don't think, despite all of the deniers. There's any doubt that he interfered in our election, or that he has interfered in many ways in the internal affairs of other countries, funding political parties, funding, political candidates, buying off, government officials in different places. So that is his opus, his opus operandi, in the sense that he
not how you say it.
Hates democracy. He particularly hates the West, and he especially hates us. And he has determined that he can do two things.
Yeah, well,
it's modus operandi, not opus operandi.
She doesn't know. I mean, this woman is a disgrace. She said Donald Trump likes to engage in psychologists called projection. I'm not the only person who noticed this. As he engages in what psychologists call projection, he accuses somebody of doing something. It's almost guaranteed he's doing it himself or already done it. You dirty lying snake!
She did it.
Jake Sullivan, who was still a key advisor to President Stupidface today. Jake Sullivan came to Hillary Rodham, P. Stinky Fart Cabbage, and said, look what I've got. This is a dossier, a report about a dossier, a fake dossier from a guy named Steele, an outed British Secret Service agent of some kind. And this document indicates that there's a good chance that Donald Trump may be part of a Russian collusion effort where he's, siding with the Russians, and they're using him as a stooge and a simple idiot and so on and so forth. And so Jake Sullivan said, if we got this to the press, if we got the media to help us out on this, it could really destroy Donald Trump and make a whole thing about him being in bed with the Russians. And she said, God, what a great idea. Let's go. That's how it started.
Took it to the FBI and got them to lie about it. Yeah.
That's how it started. And instead of the FBI saying, "Oh no, stop right now. You're breaking the law, trying to make a political candidate opponent." I mean, and they could have stopped it that day.
And they ran with it.
And that's what started the whole Trump. That's what started 7 years now of anti-Donald Trump.
And her sit there with a straight face and not only say that and ignore what her role in all this, but to sit there and talk about Putin interfering in other people's elections and other people's business. What do you think Biden did when he went to Ukraine and says, if you don't fire that guy, you're not getting your $10 billion?
And let's not forget her reset button business, too, with her dealing with foreign affairs and foreign officials.
She sold Putin 30% of our uranium.
Right.
What are they talking about? And us, okay, come on. We cannot point any fingers at anybody else interfering with other people's countries ever again.
Hell, Jimmy Carter made a living of it, going down to make sure the other elections in the South America or...
We've overthrown 100 places.
Yeah.
We overthrew the Shah of Iran.
How about Vietnam? I mean, come on.
Sticking our nose where it didn't belong.
Yeah. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I mean, I look at her and she's still, and then she came out with her, what about her emails? I mean, remember mocking the fact about you can't get me on my emails. I mean,
she's untouchable.
She is untouchable.
She's untouchable.
She got away with it.
How the hell did she get in that position? Her. A known liar since Nixon days. Did she get in a position where she's untouchable?
I can't believe that somebody of those 51 guys who signed that phony document about the Russian collusion with a Hunter Biden laptop, I can't believe that there hasn't been one of them who hasn't been investigated so thoroughly and charged with something that he does, that somebody hasn't turned and outed her. I'm with all the people involved in this conspiracy, from the FBI and the CIA and the State Department, everybody, that somebody hasn't been caught enough to say, okay, I'll keep me out of jail, put me in witness protection, and I'll talk about it.
She'll be Arkansas, or they would be
dead in 3 days.
They'd be dead. Maybe they have. Everyone's talking about the Epstein list and everything. Maybe it's the Clintons that have the list.
I'll bet they do.
Why wouldn't they? He was such good friends with him.
Yeah, he was there more than once.
He had his paintings up of him in a blue dress.
Yeah.
You think he's set for that painting? He put a blue dress on.
I'll bet he did for kicks.
Kinks, yeah.
Just between you and me, just have a I'll bet he did. Oh my God! By the way, I just saw that series again with about Clinton and Monica Lewinsky and so forth. Was on A&E or AMC.
You're
or somebody.
Fixated on that.
But it was that actor whose name I can't remember. That you like him. He was one of the spy actors in the Jason Bourne.
Has a face.
He was one of the killers in the Jason. He was one of the bad guy killers in the Jason Bourne movies. He was the one.
There's only 6 of them. So.
Well, he was the one who shot the guy's dog when he took her. We took the girl back home to her brother's house, and then they were all
the English actor
shot the guy's dog.
What the hell's his name?
In the wood, and they shot the birds, and
Starts
the birds
with
flew.
a C.
Yeah. Anyway, and he was the one who got shot in the grass.
Big tall guy. Yeah.
Can you see what they make you do? See what they make you give? Dead. That guy.
Yeah.
He played Clinton.
Really?
Yeah. And by the way, did you know this is true? This just came out today. Did you know? Talk about the power of some people in America, or the world for that matter. Mm-hmm. Did you know that Hillary Rodham, P. Stinky Fart Cabbage, can determine who's going to live or die with one phone call? She knows who's going to live or die with one call. I mean, this really is
that's all
remarkable.
One call.
That's all. And by the way, even Newsweek is saying, get rid of President Stupid. Even Newsweek is saying you're going to lose. You got to get him out. Here we go. This is going to be a great election. You know, here we go. This is the beginning of whether or not he's got to go. And then what? Who are you putting in there? It can't be her side piece. It can't be Michelle. Oh, no. Big Mike? Oh, no.
Well, did you see who's going to be debating on Hannity?
No.
Gavin Newsom and Ron DeSantis.
Oh, God. Well, that should be fun. Anyway, I'm not watching. It's 4:45.
Why aren't you watching?
Oh, please. I got a good reason. I'm going to kill him when I had the chance. Take him downstairs like I wanted.
Stop it. That's Phyllis Diller's quote on the board behind you today. So
we have an update. We should update that.
Yeah, we should update.
I got a couple. We'll figure out something.
Put them up.
Anyway, 4:56 already. Holy cow! With a Kimmer Pete and Flounder. Kathy Hochul from New York has called out the National Guard because there are too many of those brown people are showing up from south of the border. Yeah, you're a sanctuary state, girlie.
Yeah.
You should take them all. I don't know why every single and again, if you haven't seen the latest video of and there was another story over the weekend.
Right there.
They pulled a dead 3-year-old boy out of the water because he didn't quite make it. I saw a video this afternoon of people holding hands, a line of people holding hands so they didn't get swept away by the current, trying to save a woman who was about to lose her baby in the water because it was switching too fast for her.
They just showed some Venezuelans getting on a bus in New York City, and the woman had a headscarf on like she was out of Damascus.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
Well, let's remember, I just saw a thing, the FBI, a federal Gestapo investigation, God, I hope they're back to their old selves again, are investigating all of these single men who are being taken over, coming across the border as part of a group of international terrorists and criminals from all over the freaking world. This isn't Colombians and South American people coming into America.
Not all of them, no.
Holy smokes. And have you seen the lines? And they've just another story. They're bragging about how now, we've just added 400 new National Guard members to help with the paperwork. I don't really think that's why National Guard members signed up to be in the National Guard, right, so they could go to Texas and help with paperwork, allowing all the illegal sneak-ins to become American residents, if not citizens. I mean, again, they're allowing the border's they're not bringing more National Guardsmen to secure the border. Right. They're bringing more to help more come in.
People join the National Guard to get to college and stuff, but also to protect the United States. And they're being used to facilitate the invasion.
It's the National Guard, not the National Paper Association of stencilers. I mean, the National Guard.
The National Greeters.
These are soldiers.
They're just greedy.
Guns, and they learn how to, oh my God.
Welcome to Bienvenidos a la America. Here's your green card.
The United States of Venezuela. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Venezuela.
Well, think of all those Venezuelan restaurants that'll be opening up everywhere.
Well, talk about good food. And hot babes. They know how to dress. They know how to dress.
They know how to play baseball. We know that.
Well, there you go. In fact, if you're
our best players from there.
If you're a hot Venezuelan chick and you need a place to stay,
just one though, because that'll fit in your car.
Well, I can't have the whole family. You could alternate. If you have a little younger sister, nobody's seeing anything. Anyway, my God. Oh, by the way, this is kind of bizarre. Coming up, I do this all the time. I do it every day. And I don't know if you guys do. I do it every day. And Flounder and I do the same thing every night.
Okay, I'm scared. What are you going to say here?
When I leave here, Flounder, and I walk out, and you're doing your Flounder's putting together stuff to get ready, because after I leave, he has to put together the show for the social media stuff. What do I say when I leave?
Bye.
No, what do I say? And what do you say?
Have a good one.
Bingo. Well, guess what? It's in the news, baby.
What?
5 o'clock. Look out. Herp. Let's get it together, ladies. Left shoulder, right a blank. Ready on the dog. Target. Run guards out. 503. Look out. It's only me. It's only the cover. Everything's going to be fine. With Pete Davis, sidekick producer and sports raconteur extraordinaire, and the mechanical mangler at the controls, Flounder. And our little friend Amanda was in there earlier today. Tell the folks what she was doing here, just for fun, if we don't mind.
She was just kind of wants to learn kind of all aspects of radio, behind the scenes and stuff like that.
Excellent.
So, and then she's also said she'd happy to stop by if anything progresses with the Swiftie drama.
Oh, and again, we just love Amanda. I mean, she's a young girl, and she's
she's very in tune with pop culture and things like that.
She's the perfect foil for to talk about stuff like that. In fact, she was in here earlier talking about Taylor Swift.
If she wears her Crocs next time,
in fact, I forgot to ask her about that. In fact, again, if you just
she said she wasn't aware of the Croc thing, but she said she used to have a pair, and she was aware of those little things you could put on there.
Yeah, the jivvies. I forgot.
Jibbits.
It's
like kibitz, but jibbits.
Anyway, we'll update it later. I mentioned when we right before the beginning of the top of the hour, I mentioned that when I leave, I have a habit of saying this, and Flounder and I both say the same thing. I'm getting ready, and Flounder's putting stuff together, and I'm walking out the door, I say, well, have a good one. And Flounder frequently says, have a good one. I'm sure you've used the phrase. Well, this morning, looking through the Al Jazeera Constipation, there was a Miss Manners artist, Judith Martin, who's Miss Manners. Yeah. And somebody wrote in and said, there's a saying that's very common. It bothers me. When I go to the bank, the post office, the grocery store, finish my transaction, the employee will often say, have a good one. And the writer says, what does that even mean? Have a good what? Do I get to remove the word one and fill it to myself with have a good day, have a good night, have a good holiday, have a good vacation? Where did this saying come from? Why can't people use more words and be intentional about what they say? I think it is an odd saying and a lazy one, but I don't ever connect anyone who says it to me. I just reply with something like, have a good day. Gentle reader. This is Miss Manners now. Gentle reader. Most likely, they cannot be more intentional because they do not know your plans. And Miss Manners feels certain that you would prefer this brief comment to a lengthy conversation so they can find out. Of all the silly things.
Talk about what? Just slap them. Anyone ever said, what do you mean by that? Yeah, there's one I mean.
Yeah, but good one. Yeah, where do you think I'm going now?
What did the five fingers say to the face?
Yeah, if it's any of your business, mind your own beeswax. I mean, my God, it's just a thing. In fact, well, for example, if I'm holding the door for a lady, if I'm holding the door for a lady going to a store, and she might say thank you, I'll say sure thing. Instead of saying you're welcome, I don't always say you're welcome. I say, oh, you bet, or glad to, or, have a good one. Or, it's just a response.
When they say thank you, I said, keep moving, come on.
Yeah, it's not.
Come on, I got all day.
Hold everything. We got the Menendez, we got Biden stuff, we got a lot of newsy things here. Plus, holy crap, it's sports with Pete. We got Skynet, we got tweets, we got more Flounders funnies. And is that a phone call?
Yes.
Well, let's see who's actually
Swatoon.
Swatoon is a happy Monday, Swatoon, starting off the week. How's it going?
Happy Monday, Kimmer. Hey, congratulations on surviving 1 month without being assassinated by a transgender.
That's right. That tranny said he's going to kill me. I think it's been about a month now, or at least 3 weeks or something, I think. But that's, I'm ready. Yep. I'm definitely ready, and I'm not, so come on.
This national, they don't need to send National Guard to help with paperwork. They just need to pick up all Washington interns and send it there. The politicians, they can do the job themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Part-time interns and whatever. I mean, this is unbelievable. I mean, if you see the video, and again, our country would be completely different if the mainstream media had been showing all of this from the first day. Can you imagine if just your average Mr. and Mrs. America, sitting down and watching the news, and all of a sudden they say, oh my God, look at all those people coming in, and we've got to take care of them now? I mean, are they, and by the way, everybody you see these days is all young, single, able-bodied men, about 20 years old. I mean, they're not all refugees from being beaten in their home countries. I mean, this is ridiculous.
I mean, the reason I came to this country is because military came literally to our town and said, like, hey, do you want to die or you want to leave? Choose.
Wow.
And, and then, of course, we had to go to the next country, of this Croatia. We were in a refugee center over there. And from there, we applied for every country that would accept us, America being first. But I had to go through the physical test, background check, and to see if I have any diseases and stuff like that can be really fatal to Americans.
And you from Bosnia and Herzegovina, you had to do all of that. You had to sign the book. You had to go through even being tested for diseases, and yet all of these millions have come in the last 3 years. And they don't do anything except get free packs of stuff and a bus ride.
Yeah. One fun fact about where I came from, the area I was from, I cannot donate the blood to Americans because I had contained the inactive tuberculosis disease inside my blood cells. And I'm not allowed to donate the blood in America.
Wow. Man.
That's how bad it is, because that's why we need to be legal. The second of all, these people are promised a dream. Imagine you were told you're going to get something, you're going to have better life, to find out that your life is going to be screwed. And, I mean, there's nothing worse than you get stopped literally in your face by, realizing that all was lie.
Yeah. And, what also amazes me is that all these people, even the families with little kids, all of a sudden get into America, and then what? Where are they going? Where are they living? Where are they changing clothes? Where are they getting food and going to the bathroom and changing their diet? I mean, when they get here, and then they have to get somewhere, and they think they're going to have a great life, not knowing. I mean, do they have? They can't all have families and relatives in America to put them in the spare room. No. I mean, where are these millions of people going to go? Where are they going to live? Where are they going to get a place to live and eat and change their clothes and go to the bathroom? I mean, they think this is a better life. How could they be having a better life when they don't even know where they are?
Hey, Kimmer, when you have no food and you come here and you can eat, I mean, our homeless population, they have life in some countries out there.
Yeah.
But you just can't do this because you're not help. I mean, you're thinking about passion. It's like a hoarder collecting the animals.
Yeah.
They don't see that they are hurting the animals. They actually are, they're seeing them as helping. It's just a sickness, and pretty much crazy people take it over America and media.
It's such a disgrace. It's a disaster. Shvatum, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. 5'11". Always great to talk to you. Man was from Bosnia and Herzegovina, and he did everything the right way. He signed the book.
And other people over there that have done everything right the right way, and they're still sitting there waiting
to come in
while they're watching people just walk because they won the genetic lottery. They were born next door.
I can't believe there isn't a national outrage.
I think there is. Even the Democrats are saying, "No, come on." His poll is 20% on this issue.
Yeah.
Well, when are the Republicans just okay? It's his ratings are down to 20-something% on this issue, and the Republicans just sit back and go, "Well, there's nothing we can do."
Yeah. It's
shut down the government. I don't care. I'll miss a check or two if you're going to send a message.
Nobody's missing a check. Here's the other thing to remember. If they shut down the government, it means you can't go to the national park and you can't do the so-and-so. And all those federal employees who say, oh, no, they're not going to lose a dime. Every time there's a shutdown, the first thing Congress does when they come back is give everybody their freaking money. Every single time they get all their back pay. So don't be talking about, oh, poor baby's going to miss 7 days of work because he can't go to the freaking National Park Service and put on his smoky hat and walk around the trees. You're going to get your freaking money. That's not an issue. Okay, that's not the reason to worry about shutting down the government. Frankly, it'd probably do us all good.
Why wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Please.
What are you going to miss the most?
So you can send more money to Ukraine?
And by the way, you know, emergency services aren't going anywhere.
$25 billion.
Yeah.
How about the propaganda last night, 60 Minutes? Pure propaganda.
Let's talk about that.
We're keeping the Ukrainian businesses afloat. They can make their payroll. What about Americans who couldn't make their payroll during COVID and still can't right now?
Yeah. Tax dollars funding more than military aid. They're taking care of all the families and all the people in Ukraine, thanks to you generous taxpayers of America, taking care of their families and their dinner tables.
And the small businesses. They're keeping their small businesses open while they shut us down for Walmart and Costco and all the big stores.
Well, but they're Ukrainians. We have to help them. We have to take care of their borders. Silly rabbit. Oh, you're so funny. Pete Davis coming up next. Look out. Here we go.
And also, later on, Forrest Wall started his first Major League game last night and made it a memorable one.
2-0 and a deep fly down the right field line. That is down the line and gone. Forrest Wall deep over the wall. It's a 2-run home run. And he is enjoying that trot around the bag.
As he should. It was his first one. That's so cool. He's been with like 7 teams and tried to get there, and there he was.
Outstanding.
They have today off before the Cubs come to Truist Park tomorrow. Justin Steele against Bryce Elder. And now with both Max Fried and Charlie Morton on the IL, Elder may play a much larger role in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Wall's home run, by the way, was the 299th of the season for the Bravos, who need just 9 more over the final week to set the MLB record. So good, just 9 more is all we need.
Only a week left in this.
Well, you got the Cubs and then the Nationals in town, and that's it.
Holy
that's
moly!
It. A friend of mine who's also suffered watching the Falcons play all these decades called me this morning and said, "quote I turned on the news and the first thing I saw was an Atlanta Falcons player trying to explain what happened in the loss yesterday. Well, fall has officially come to Atlanta." End quote. I mean, how many decades?
We missed it a couple of days ago.
We should have won that game. We blew that game. But, the offense didn't show up against a Lions defense that was riddled with injuries. It was 20-6 loss in Detroit. The Falcons now 2-1, so we can't bash them too much. There's 2-1 still. Next up there, I think they fly to London to take on the Jaguars. Is that what's next?
I almost texted you, but I know better than to text you on the weekend during football season, especially Saturdays with college. But I wrote down this. On the first defensive series by the Falcons, when the first defensive series, they forced them 3 and out. They were swarming. They looked like maniacs. They looked like the old Chicago Bears 54 game, whatever the hell it was. I mean, unbelievable. I mean, they were fast and swarming and all. And I thought, oh my God, because I've been reading articles about how they're trying to be a lot more aggressive on defense and all kind of stuff. And I said, oh my God, this is really working. And they looked outstanding. And then I had to go do some stuff, and I gave back and it was a game. But I mean, that first series, I thought, holy cow, it's working.
Well, the first 2 games, you couldn't say same old Falcons because they came back in the fourth quarter. This was one of those same old Falcons games where you think, this is a team, they should win up there. They're injury riddled. You should go up there to Detroit and take this, right? And then, of course, they don't.
Well, you can't get sacked 7 times and win a ball game.
And you can't look like crap when you're throwing the ball either.
If you get sacked 7 times, then you're going to be worried about getting sacked 8, 9, 10, 12 times, and so everything changes.
As another person pointed out, they have never seemed to get the offensive line right. Either they can run block or they can't pass. They can't pass block or they can't run block. And once again, this is what we get, guys who can't pass block. So we'll see. Matt Ryan says he was indeed contacted by the Jets.
No kidding.
But told him no, that he's real cushy up in the booth with CBS. So we'll see.
Good for him.
The Broncos did something no NFL team has done since 1966. They gave up 70 points to the Dolphins. Now, poor Denver head coach Sean Payton couldn't have happened to a nicer guy.
Oh, right.
Somewhere, Jets quarterback coach Nathaniel Hackett is laughing his arse off. The last time a team scored 70 was 66. The 726 offensive yards by the Finns, the second most in NFL history. And as I told everyone about that running back Darren Achane out of Texas A&M, that kid is good for the Dolphins. He is good. The Chiefs spanked the Bears at Arrowhead in front of Taylor Swift. In fact, Taylor Swift rented out the entire stadium for the game for her and her entourage of 76,416.
I'm not quite sure if she.
And by the way, someone says that was Dennis Rodman she was sitting next to.
What? Oh, in the dress?
I don't know if that was true, but I don't know.
Oh, my God, really?
KC head coach Andy Reid passed Cowboys legend Tom Landry for 4th all-time in wins with 271.
What?
The Steelers won in Las Vegas, but should have known they were in trouble when the pilot came on the intercom on the plane and said, "Fasten your seatbelts, it's going to be a bumpy night."
Yes.
Their charter plane had to make an emergency landing in Kansas City due to engine problems.
It was an oil pressure drop in one of the engines, apparently.
When I was traveling with the Falcons, and this happened going to New Orleans, and they had to bring us back twice. The second time, there were several of the players in the back going, "Oh, hell no, I'm getting off this plane.
I'm driving."
And they got out of the plane.
Got a rental car.
They got out.
And by the way, that used to happen all the time. I mean, the charter flights were, like Bull Durham, almost, really? Back in the day.
Congrats to Georgia Tech. They won at Wake Forest, and Georgia dominated UAB. Kirby Smart now owns the best record for a college football coach after 100 games ever. He's 85-15. That beats Bear Bryant at Alabama, went 81-12-7 from 58 to 67. Nick Saban at Bama was 84-16 from 2007 to 14, and Steve Spurrier at Florida went 83-16-1 from 1990 to 98. Kirby is now ahead of all those guys.
Excellent.
A rare loss for UGA off the field, though. The Bulldogs lost a commitment from 4-star receiver Nye Carr. Had committed to Georgia a year ago, and now he's backed off. He plays at Colquitt County High School, so he's going somewhere else. And next up for the Dogs is the Deep South's oldest rivalry, Auburn. Now, first-year Tigers head coach Hugh Freeze was asked, do you hate Georgia? And he said, I'm not big on hate. I'm big on this meaning so much to so many people. I hope we can compete because we love Auburn, and it means something to compete against Georgia.
Right.
Love is a great motivator for me, Hugh Freeze said. He then picked up the phone and called an escort service to find that love. Hopefully, he didn't use the school phone to do it like he did at Ole Miss.
Yeah, while he was on the phone at school.
Kentucky will host the Gators in an early game Saturday, and Wildcats head coach Mark Stoops was asked if the Cats fans will be ready that early in the morning. Quote, I have great confidence in the people of Kentucky who can get up very early and pound some beers. Why would you disrespect the great people of the Commonwealth?
They'll be drinking.
Washington State beat Oregon State in a game of unbeatens, and afterwards, Cougars head coach Jake Dickert had words for ESPN's Lee Corso. Corso made a smart-ass comment on College Game Day that those two schools are playing in the no one watches bowl. I watched the damn game. Dickert called out Corso, then called out ESPN for working behind the scenes to destroy the Pac-12 conference, which is basically what they did. Also, I saw a Falcons jersey in Pullman, Washington at the game.
No kidding.
That's not, you don't see that very often.
Wow.
The Akron Zips have a strange way to celebrate a touchdown. What prop do they use in Akron when they win? What prop would they use in Akron, Ohio?
Akron, Ohio, a tire.
A tar?
A tar?
A tar?
Well, it's a tar. So I was going to get my car, got my tar.
That's from Kim Peterson of the Pittsfield Peterson.
Had to change my all.
Same tar?
A tar.
The player places
a blimp or a tire?
No, he places a Goodyear tire around his neck and walks around. Obviously.
Oh, my God, that's like...
No. Obviously, don't get ahead of me. Obviously, none of these players have ever heard the name Winnie Mandela.
I was going to say. Oh, my God. A burning tire?
Come on.
Yowie.
Please, crack a history book. And Notre Dame blew their home game against Ohio State on the last play of the game. Not surprising since the Golden Domers only had 10 players on defense for their last 2 plays.
It's just dumb. Why is it dumb? I don't know.
It's just dumb. I'm telling you. They say they're going to put something special, a special play in place. So in the future, if they look around and say, "Oh, we got enough players on there." Now Notre Dame's supposed to be a high education place, right?
Yeah.
And they for 2 plays, they didn't know they had 10 players.
Yeah. I heard somebody trying to explain why, but it didn't make any sense.
The head coach, probably. That guy. Yeah, he seemed a little clueless at times. And finally, on this date in 1954, Ted Williams played in his last game at Fenway Park. 1954.
Of course, he was a Korean fighter pilot in World War II. He fighter pilot.
He played into the 1960s. So why did he play his last game at Fenway in 1954?
He went to war.
No. His retirement lasts until the next May. He returned and gets a new contract. Why? Because he was going through a divorce. And he waited till I got finalized.
Oh, my God. Smart.
And he retired.
Oh, my. Now, see if I... Oh, my kids would have been millionaires.
Your turn.
A couple things. First of all, Spain is removing the word woman from their national soccer team.
Mujer.
Because of the greater equality after the former Federation president kissed that girl on the mouth. And so now they have taken the phrase... wait a minute, I got to find my thing here.
So they're taking women out because a guy kissed a woman?
Guy kissed a girl in the mouth, and so now the phrase de football femenino is translated women's soccer, now is going to be called Selección Española de Football, or Spain's national soccer team.
Well, don't they have a men's national soccer team?
Yeah, so it's just going to be the Spain's national soccer team. You can't say men's or women's because women means girl and girl means kiss on the mouth. So they're just going to call them the slutty teasers. I don't know.
That's like taking the Indian girl off the Land O'Lakes butter.
Yeah, I know.
Or Aunt Jemima
off the bottom.
Or Uncle Ben.
The Super Bowl. How are we doing? We're doing okay. The Super Bowl has picked their halftime guy, Usher. Who's to be the super... Have you ever seen a halftime... Do you ever watch Super Bowl halftime show?
Every now and then.
I've never seen one. I've never watched one. Flounder, did you ever watch a halftime show, Super Bowl? Oh, sorry, he's in a back room there, so we got to get him a stewardess. Did you ever watch the halftime show?
I watched this to see how it starts out. I think the last two good ones was Prince and Paul McCartney.
Prince was good. McCartney, Stones, Springsteen. There's a few good ones.
No interest in watching the Who sing on
The Who did one. People bitched about
but anyway, this guy, the Usher, I think that's one of my favorite songs.
Tom Petty did one.
When I was retired down in Florida, and I was trying to pick up this really cute young non-Caucasian young lady, and whenever I drive by her, I used to see her various places, I would play the song, I think it was Usher's song, should have brought that thing, should have brought that ring, my shawty, my wife, talking about her, talking about me, talking about us, what we ought to be. Wasn't that Usher, that song? Love that song. And it's going to be, if he's doing that song at the halftime show, I'll be watching that.
I was
you
telling you
that
this
song, Flounder?
Every time you drove by here, you'd play that song. What are you, coming back with Mr. Microphone? With it? Hey, baby, back, pick you up later.
It was a situation where she would kind of encourage me and smile, and we do a little teasing.
Was she on the
show.
side of the road?
Well, kind of, it was sort of a thing. It was sort of a.
Was she working a corner?
Where she was working somewhere.
You don't have to seduce those women.
I don't remember the name of the song. I think it was Usher. Talking about her, talking about me, talking about what we ought to be. My shawty, my wife.
Is there a
now someone else is running fingers through her hair. Anyway, it's a famous song. So if he's doing that, I'll watch that. I think that was Usher. I'm not quite sure. And historical note.
Can't wait for the punchline.
Oh, here we go. Oh, no. If I got time? Yes, I do. I got to do it right now, though. All right, hold on, because I got to use my phone for part of this, too, because I like several sources. All right, hold on. No, here we got it. That's not it. Hold on. Here we go. Okay. Was on this day in 1997, Marv Albert, the NBC sportscaster and radio personality, tried to eat his naughty lady companion one bite at a time.
Bite me.
And she wasn't really in favor of it at all. A woman named Patricia Masden accused Albert of assaulting her sexually in her Dallas hotel room, called her into his room to help him send a fax. She said, I turned around and saw him standing there. I saw him standing there in white panties and a garter belt. This is Marv Albert we're talking about. He was exposed and aroused. He told me he was tense and he needed some relief. Then he bit the back of my neck and pushed me. He tried to push my head down to
Yes.
He grabbed my hair, and I tried to grab his hair, and his hair lifted off. He was wearing a wig. She said I ran out of the room. He bit her another time later when the two were alone in another Miami room, asking her weird sexual questions, proposed a menage a trois with another man. Then he bit her on the lip, and she left the room again. They fired him at NBC, and then 2 years later, they hired him back to be broadcaster with the NBA coverage. He was calling games by the end of the year. 21 years later, Marv Albert is still calling NBA and NFL games for TNT and CBS, and he's in the Sports Broadcasting Hall of Fame.
Sexually assaulted a woman, allegedly, and more than once.
He ate her. 5:30.
Excuse me.
He bit her.
Chewed her neck, baby.
This is by the way, this is Nelly. This isn't Usher.
Well, close. Here we go. There we go. That's it. Nelly, baby. Me, it's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis and Flounder, 534. And is this the Led Zeppelin here?
Yep.
I don't recognize it. It's John Bonham on this day, 1980. The drummer with Led Zeppelin died. He was 32 after a heavy drinking session. They called him Bonzo, found dead at the guitarist Jimmy Page's house, described as asphyxiation after he inhaled his own vomit. Drank too much vodka. Apparently, he had John Bonham, the drummer for Led Zeppelin, on this day died at age 32 in 1980 by drinking 40 shots of vodka in 4 hours. During live sets, his drum solo Moby Dick would often last for half an hour.
I know.
And regularly featured his use of his bare hands. That was 1980 when he died, Led Zeppelin's drummer John Bonham. Ludwig, in 2007, Ludwig, who's that? Ludwig issued a limited edition drum kit.
Oh, they're drum makers.
Drum company. There we go. And I know. In fact, I've played their. I did a TV show. I never mind.
Yeah. Then why'd you ask me who they were?
Because I forgot. It was 1982. Sorry. And they had a drum. Yeah, or whatever. All right. Yeah. A couple. Oh, I almost broke a thing there. Okay. Quick. Oh, some more sports things, Pete. I forgot. Birthday, Scottie Pippen, 58 years old today. And a sports note, actually 2 sports notes, if you don't mind. And we have stuff to do. 1965, this is really cool. 1965, Willie Mays became the oldest player to hit 50 home runs in a single season. He was 34. Oldest player to hit 50 home runs, Willie Mays, 54. He was 34.
Just said that.
And the fun fact is, 10 years earlier, Willie Mays became the youngest player to hit 50 dingers in a single season. When he was 24, he was the youngest to hit 50 and the oldest to hit 50.
Amazing.
Is that unbelievable?
That's unbelievable.
And I'm not even going to tell my Willie Mays story. One more. I should get credit for that, by the way. 1978, Melissa Ludkett, a reporter for Sports Illustrated, filed a lawsuit in the U.S. District Court. The result was Major League Baseball could no longer bar chicks from going into the locker room and to stare at the stars and the jocks when they got out of the show.
And I won't tell the whole story, but I got the first woman in the Braves locker room when we were both in high school.
Well, you can tell the story.
It takes too long. But I was a senior. She was a junior, and we got her down there. We were going to interview Pepe Frias, and we got down there and realized that Pepe doesn't speak a word of English, so we had to have a translator come out and do the interview with us. And then afterwards, we're sitting up. She was taking photos, and I was out in the press box, and they said, you can go in the locker room now. And we talked her into going. Said, you could be the first woman in the Braves locker room. And we went in there, and it was, first of all, first time I'd ever been in a locker room. And I'm like, oh, my God, I'm in a locker room. With y'all. And the only person I could get the nerve to speak to was the late Bobby Dews, who was a complete gentleman, who smiled when I came up and answered my questions. I was just a stupid high school kid. And we're sitting there. And Glenn Hubbard and Bob Horner going, come interview me. She was a good-looking girl. And Buddy J. Solomon, Eddie Solomon, won the game. And he was an African-American pitcher for the Braves. And he won the game. And so everybody's crowded around his cubicle, to talk to him, interview him. And so we kind of worked our way in there. And just then, all the reporters moved and it just parted, and he was there buck naked sitting on a stool. And she gasped and turned red and ran out. And Horner and Hubbard, they'll probably deny it. We're going, come interview me.
Yeah, I'll take it.
But they were fully clothed. So anyway, we get out. So I stay for a minute or two longer. Then I go out, and she's laughing and going, I'm so embarrassed, and like that. And as we're walking out, there's this voice behind us, this big booming voice goes, excuse me. And I turn around, and there's one of my childhood heroes. There's Dale Murphy. And he's dressed and everything, and he's going, I'm not hassling you guys and everything. You got the right. No, we're just hassling. Just wondering how you guys got press passes.
Dale Murphy challenging Pete Davis and his girl.
Well, he was, because he was Mormon, and he didn't think it was,
didn't want a girl in there where there were men.
But then again, he understood that was the new rule and everything. Yeah. So he's just wondering how high school kids got in there. And I said, well, because your PR guy, the late great Wayne Minshew, used to be one of my little league coaches at Glenwood Hills, and that's how I got a press pass, right? Yeah. And we were not trying to break anything or do anything. We just, we thought this would be cool to get the first girl into the Braves locker room.
Absolutely.
And we came out there, and the anecdote to the story is I ended up marrying her.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Annulled, right?
Wow.
Yeah, annulled.
Oh, yeah. Well, hey. Well, that sounds like a very exciting experience. I remember when I was in the Cubs locker room one time and there were a chicken there. Remember Jody Davis? Remember the name Jody Davis? He was a catcher
Georgia.
for the Cubs and number 17 for the Cubs from Georgia. Mm-hmm. And had a couple of great years there in the mid-'80s. And I was doing an interview with some guys, and there was a girl in the locker room. And behind the guy I was interviewing with a girl there was Jody Davis naked, kind of messing around, trying to get me to not keep a straight face while I was doing my anyway.
What year was that?
84.
Because our year that we did it was 79. So that was
83 or 84.
And
84,
what year did the woman sue from Sports Illustrated?
That was, I got it right here. 1978.
Yeah, okay, so it just happened.
Yeah. That's right, Sports Illustrated. Anyway, by the way, you mentioned the Ukraine thing. Before I forget, and we got so much stuff to get in here before 6. The taxpayers' dollars, you mentioned, and they're bragging about this on CBS. Among other things, the American government, your tax money, is subsidizing small businesses in Ukraine, including Titania Abramov's knitwear company, to keep her afloat because she has a lot of customers that she has to take care of. So now your tax dollars are working in programs to pay her and her family and her business and to find her new customers around the world. Okay, we're now helping her get customers marketing around the world. Your tax dollars have bought seeds, fertilizer for all the farmers. By the way, Ukraine has first responders, a total of almost 60,000 of them. You and I are now covering all their salaries. We are covering all the salaries of all the divers who look for in the country's rivers to make them safe again. We're taking care of their economy. We have also months ago already spent more money on Ukraine than their entire defense budget came from us.
Yeah. Do you see where the Poles aren't giving them anything else?
Yeah,
they're trying to dump their grain on them and say, wait a minute here.
Yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's at 5:41, and I mean, all right, what did I forget? We got Pete Stressra. God, I'm so sorry. I just, you could have passed a note or something. It's 5:41 too. We got Pete. We got tweets. We got Pete's tweets.
Scooter emails. Good old pony boy Lucas will be 14 soon and asked me for deuterium oxide and depleted uranium for his birthday. You know what deuterium oxide is?
No, I don't.
Heavy water.
Go goody.
You know what you make with that?
Yeah, bombs.
Yeah. The big ones.
Lucas was a kid when he called his daddy had called him, tried to be funny on the radio, called him my talk show 10 years ago, whatever. And he said, let me put my son on. And so I always have it, when you put your 4-year-old kid on, guess what's going to happen? I say, boy, it was great talking to you, but guess what? Your daddy's going to get you a pony for your birthday. He says, oh, boy. So,
Monsieur, don't try to be funny with me. So that thing that destroyed Bud Light posted on Twitter a pic of it and another it, and them being girls now.
Oh, God.
So actor Dean Cain tweeted back, I think neither one of you are girls. To which they fired back, and you were never Superman. And to which Superman responded, correct. I pretended.
It was fake.
Okay, what's the difference between a literalist and a kleptomaniac?
A literalist takes things seriously, and a kleptomaniac takes things anyway. I don't have any idea.
A literalist takes things literally. A kleptomaniac takes things literally.
Literally.
Did you know you were once the youngest person in the world?
Well, for a split second, I guess, probably.
Yeah. Did you know a building is called a building even after it's been built?
That's right. It's an active tense. It's an active verb.
Take a pen, gentlemen. Take a pen or pencil and write the word bed. Small letters.
Bed?
Bed, B-E-D. Write the words in small letters.
All right.
Oh, my gosh, it's a bed.
Oh, it looks like a bed.
Very good. Very sharp in there today.
It is a bed. If you have a headboard. If you have a headboard, a lot of beds don't use headboards.
I don't anymore.
Yeah, I stopped back years ago. But I have one now
makes
because
too much
I didn't
noise.
buy it. Well, it rattles.
And it hits the bottom. Makes sense in the wall.
When you get, Asian cheerleader night, but that's a whole nother room. Okay. It's not. I don't want to talk about it.
If you're trying to decide if you'd have a child or get a dog, let me help you with this. Right. At birth, a dog begins walking. A baby is useless at walking. Really. At 6 weeks, a dog can be taught by you to do its business outside. A baby, useless. At half a year, a dog can recognize its own name, know several tricks, and can clearly communicate it needs what it needs. Yeah. A baby is still useless, but louder. At 2 years, a dog and you have learned to coexist in a mutually beneficial manner. The dog provides a positive impact on your blood pressure. A baby, just the opposite. At 13 years, a dog knows it's a loved member of the family. A baby knows everything. And never date a tennis player. Why is that?
Why is that? Because they don't know anything about love or something?
Love means nothing to them.
Love means nothing at all. It's love is DC. Not 30 love would be 30
Twitter confession.
Yeah.
I got very drunk one night and proceeded to argue with my soon-to-be wife that the Rocky movies were all based on my life, despite me being born 25 years after the first Rocky movie was made. Yeah. And I had never boxed in my life, and she knew that. Yeah. We're married now, but she still gives me a look of disgust whenever one of those movies comes on the television. Imagine being that drunk to try and convince her.
It was all about me, you know.
I'm so lonely, one person wrote on Twitter. On weekends, I pretend to record a podcast, then I immediately delete it.
Hell, I spend the weekend with horses.
Horses, he said horses.
Yeah, horses. Oh, my God, it's 5:45. All right, there's a lot more coming up here with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. It one hit wonder. Hey, Mickey, I love this song. Hey, Mickey. It one hit wonder day.
Great song. Hey.
Yeah, hey, Jackie Wilson. Look out. Bop, bop. Jackie Wilson. 1975. Jackie Wilson had a heart attack while performing live on stage at Latin Casino in New Jersey. Jackie Wilson collapsed into a coma. Severe brain damage. Ironically, he was in the middle of singing one of his biggest hits, Lonely Teardrops. He was 2 words into the line, "My heart is crying," when he collapsed on the stage, striking his head heavily, remained semi-comatose for 9 years until he died in 1984 at 49. Van Morrison wrote the song Jackie Wilson Said, covered by Dexy's Midnight Runners. Jackie Wilson, heart attack on stage and coma, and died 9 years in a coma.
Sad.
One of my favorites, Higher and Higher, was one of my favorite all-time favorite songs. Jackie Wilson. Song. Quick birthday note: Ada Turturro, 61, played Janice on The Sopranos.
I've seen her in a few. I'm going through the old Blacklist, and she plays a character on there.
She pops up every once in a while, and there were some of the older ones before The Sopranos when she played like characters in Law and Order. I remember seeing her once in an elevator as part of a court case on Law and Order or something. Every once in a while. Let's see. It was 1789. Congress adopted 12 amendments to the U.S. Constitution, sent them to the states for ratification. 10 of those 12 amendments became the Bill of Rights. And let's see, one more thing here. In 1956, underwater telephone cable service began from the U.S. to Europe. They completed laying 2,259 miles of cable under the Atlantic Ocean.
Imagine doing that and saying, coming up with the idea to put cable on a ship and take it across the ocean.
Take it under the ocean.
Yeah.
I mean, because you don't. In 1956, you don't know what's down. I mean,
well, they were doing in the 1800s for Morse code.
Yeah, it's crazy. Where were we?
Trudeau.
The Trudeau. This is incredible. The Speaker of Canada's House of Commons has now apologized for praising a standing ovation at a parliamentary meeting a guy who served as a Nazi killing people in World War II.
My God!
He was 98-year-old Anthony Roda. I'm sorry. The Speaker had recognized 98-year-old Yaroslav Hunka as a Ukrainian hero. It was at the Canadian Parliament, and of course the Ukrainian President Zelensky was there thanking Canada for all their help. And as part of it, they say, now we want to salute 98-year-old Yaroslav Hunka. Stand up. He's he was a Ukrainian hero fighting against the Russians for Ukraine. Well, he was actually a Nazi fighting against the Russians. And somebody finally realized, excuse me, by fighting for the Ukrainians against the Russians, you don't realize he was a Nazi fighting against the Russians. And then they're saying, my God, anti-Semitism, Holocaust distortion, disturbing to see Canada's Parliament rise to applaud an individual who's a member of a unit in the Waffen-SS Nazi military branch responsible for murdering Jews and gypsies and everybody else, for God's sake.
He was Waffen-SS?
Waffen-SS.
Oh, my God. The worst of the worst.
Yeah, they were the best. Here come the black shirts, man. The brown boots and the boys.
The worst of the worst.
Is there an update on...
So now we're finding out. So Trudeau is doing what all good leftists do these days.
This is Castro's son, Canada's...
He's the Canadian Prime Minister, is blaming not himself or the Parliament or their people.
Yeah.
He's blaming literally Vladimir Putin and Russia propaganda the Canadian Parliament doing this. He says, obviously, it's extremely upsetting that this happened. This is something that is deeply embarrassing to the Parliament of Canada.
I got the audio.
Okay, play it.
Excellent.
Extremely upsetting that this happened. The speaker has acknowledged his mistake and has apologized. But this is something that is deeply embarrassing to the Parliament of Canada and, by extension, to all Canadians. I think particularly of Jewish MPs and all members of the Jewish community across the country who are commemorating Yom Kippur today. I think it's going to be really important that all of us push back against Russian propaganda, Russian disinformation, and continue our steadfast and unequivocal support for Ukraine, as we did last week with announcing further measures to stand with Ukraine.
Who goes fall for this anymore?
I mean, what's Russia disinformation got to do with this standing ovation for a Nazi?
Everything's not Russia. They're not smart enough.
So Russia convinced the Speaker of the Parliament to go ahead and do it. I mean,
who falls for this anymore? That Russia did this and Russia did. Believe me, they're not smart enough to pull this off. They don't have the means to pull these things off anymore.
Plus, who would try to go through the bother of a ceremony in Canada where Zelensky was there to try to make a thing about a 98-year-old? I mean, what's the point? How could Russian disinformation be even aware or care one hoot about any of this? I mean, it's not a thing. It's not. I mean, this
with a straight face, they're looking. It's Russian disinformation, like Hillary did. She'll look you in the eye, and half the country goes, "It's Russian disinformation."
That's right. That's right. Shall we play the Matt? You want to play the Matt Gaetz or Gate? By the way, do you pronounce it Gates or Getz? Matt Gaetz, the Florida congressman.
Getz, isn't it?
I think it's Getz.
Matt Gaetz.
Gaetz.
Like he gets it.
Matt Gaetz. He gets it. Anyway, he was being interviewed by a TV reporter who got a job based on her gender and her race. A hot-looking black chick interviewing Congressman Matt Gaetz on CNN, and she was acting like she really knew what she was talking about. And here it goes.
To note that you did vote against the defense appropriations bill this week.
No, I didn't.
The rule.
No, you're wrong.
The rule to
Abby, this is going to be a very embarrassing moment when the internet corrects you on this. I voted for the defense rule both times.
Well, I stand corrected. Congressman, appreciate you joining us tonight.
Yeah, that's the end of our interview. Again, when you see her on TV, she's very serious and authoritative, and, well, you voted twice against the very... No, I didn't. I mean, it's astounding.
They're also full of themselves, and they're most of the TV anchors are idiots.
She's an actor.
Yeah, she's an actor.
She's an actor.
With puffed up hair.
I promise you, they hired this girl because she's pretty and she's black and she's a girl. The same reason you get on the U.S. Supreme Court these days.
Oh, but she's probably got a journalism degree.
Oh, please.
Like that matters anymore.
Oh, God. 56. What'd I forget? One more.
Like my place. I'm not that crazy about my neighbors. Like I live on the same street.
Okay, then. That was really funny.
Like my place. I'm not that crazy about my neighbors.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Like I live on the same street as 3 different families of Jehovah's Witnesses. And no matter how many times I tell them no, absolutely not, they still come by twice a week and say, Anthony, please stop throwing rocks at our house. Don't push your religion on me.
Anthony Jeselnik, who was just here a week or so ago. Very funny guy. 5:57. Donald Trump was in South Carolina at the Palmetto State Armory doing a public appearance in South Carolina with Marjorie Taylor Greene from Georgia Congresswoman. And he went into the armory, and there was a gun there, Glock, a 9mm Glock, and it had his picture on it. They were selling a 9mm Glock pistol with Donald Trump's face on it. Either, I don't know whether it was engraved or etched or is it engraved?
Yeah.
Wow, that's big time Charlie. And that's why he paid almost $830 for it. And he said, boy, I want to buy one. I want to buy one of those. Now, in South Carolina, if you want to buy a gun, you either have to have a concealed carry permit or an instant background check. But he would have to attest that he's not under felony indictment or using it. And, of course, he is under felony indictment, so they have to get around it because multiple charges apply by the Justice Department. However, federal judges have ruled that the law isn't consistent with the Constitution, so apparently they let him buy it. And I guess he's got it today. And he took off, and anyway, he's got.
I'm trying to see how much you buy a normal Glock for.
I think they're like $600.
A 45? Yeah, it's 540.
9 millimeter.
546. Oh, 9 millimeter.
Yeah, they're $500 or $600, $500-$600.
Yeah.
I think almost any handgun these days, 9 millimeter 45 is $400 to $600. I mean, you can spend thousands, but I mean, if you want to get a, by the way, if you're going to get a pistol, get a good one. Don't go cheap. Do not go cheap. Do not go cheap.
Yeah, they stick.
Well, it'll jam on you.
They jam. Yeah.
They get hot. If you fire 2 rounds, it gets hot and jams, and you're a dead man. Don't go cheap.
Yeah, they're 500, anywhere from 400 to $600.
Yeah, somewhere in that area. Anyway, okay. Let's see what else. Oh man, we got so many things to say. In case you missed it, Donald Trump would be a 10-point winner over President's stupid face if they had election day. Anyway, geez, boys, thank you so much. God bless America. Pete and Flounder, any final thoughts before we go here?
No.
Have a good one.
Have a good one, all right. Coming up on 6 o'clock. Hoorah, I gotta go. You're killing me. Herbert Herp, Semper Fi, Herp. Look out.